What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Welcome to another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. I'm happy to be with you guys here today. A little tongue-tied, tongue-twisted. Very productive, very interesting. Awesome show ahead for you guys. We are officially into the first week of December, the first full week of December. Yeah, y'all ready to get the show started? Y'all ready to get popping for the day? I'm excited to be before you today, and we are going to get it popping. Where is my show at? I can't see y'all on the big screen yet. You know, I don't really want to get the show started until we can get it popping. And then when we get it popping, there we go. There we go. There you guys go up on the big screen. What up, friends and family? What's happening? Hey, let me get do a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the show. Let me acknowledge a couple people early out here in these streets. On the Cash App side, you know I got to holler at my dude, Mike That Dude. What up, Mike That Dude in the building? I appreciate you. Also, Ken with the fireball. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken, for holding me down, big dog. And then Justin says, salute. Shout out to Justin for the salute. I appreciate you. And then I also want to get the early super chatter popping off. My dog, Tech Coach Ralph in the building. It says, Picture Business. The brief retrospective held in a Discord led by Natasha V on Saturday was fire. Fire. Shout out to the bag chasers. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. On top of that, let me just go ahead and add in a couple different things in this. So we sent out emails, obviously follow-up emails to everybody. Now, let me say this. When you do business through email. Once you become a little bit more successful, a lot more professional, I've always done business via email because that's what we do, because we always want to have a documentation of what you're doing, when you're doing it, and then you want to take care of business. Not now, okay? So we had a lot of people that pitched me for the Build Your Business. I told you guys that the first week of December that we will be sending out payments, right? And I received information from not a lot of people. So my preferred method of payment is Zelle, okay? And if you can't do Zelle, then obviously you want to follow up so that we can connect with you guys and we can make sure that we get you electronically sent whatever it is your payment is. I've allocated for and basically approved $21,500 for business, to start your business in order to vet out whether or not you guys should start the business, right? And I broke that down and I had conversations with you guys and I've been working with you throughout the Patreon and everything like that, right? And I sent out some payments this morning and I got some more payments to send out this afternoon. So I'm going to take care of those. But there are several people that did not respond yet. There are several people that did not respond. Now, if you sent your Zelle information, I'm sure that we got it and we'll probably follow up with you if we didn't. But I don't understand it. So I did the Build Your Business or to invest in your business roughly a week ago. So it wasn't this past Sunday. There was a Sunday before that. I don't understand why y'all don't respond to the email with your information. I'm just now getting some people's emails this morning and they saying, Anton, oh, I forgot to send it to you. How do y'all forget to get y'all bag? That is the weirdest thing in the world. I ain't never forgot to get a bag. I don't miss a paycheck, a sponsorship. Yo, listen, as much money as I've made in my lifetime, I still be waiting on the day like, whoo, extra $30, extra $40, extra $50, extra $500, extra $1,000, extra $10,000, extra $100,000. Yo, real talk. I'm always giddy for when I'm getting to that bag. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody is funny, it makes me think that some people ain't serious. It makes me think that some people ain't serious. I was looking to say yes. I was just in a gleeful mood that evening, and I was just looking to say yes. And I live streamed with y'all for 6 hours, hearing y'all business pitches, talking y'all through the process, and then allocating monies over to y'all, and then y'all didn't even follow up as far as sending the information for how it is that I can fund your business. That's wild to me. That is so incredibly wild to me. So, if you did respond and you did send your Zelle information, look for that today. I'm going to send the rest of the payments this afternoon because I got to do them one by one and I couldn't do them as a group. So I sent some people early this morning, and I'm going to send the rest this afternoon and this evening. And if you did not send your information, then please do so or tap into somebody that did, because I want to make sure that I keep up my end of the bargain and my obligation to make sure that you guys get your funding. It's unfortunate that we even have to have that kind of announcement, ain't it? P. Shank says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels. Yo, you can lead a horse to water, but you definitely cannot make them drink. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We do some awesome things in there, y'all. The best time to join into the Patreon is at the beginning of the month, okay? So if you're not a bag chaser, if you're not a Patreon member, I did drop a video this morning, and you have to watch it. Anybody that's seen the drop this morning, you may skip over it, you know what I'm saying, because I added a lot of different interviews and information and stuff like that in there. Watch the interview that I dropped today. It is very important for your success, for your health, for your money, for everything. It is vitally important that you watch this interview. It will not be released to the general public. It is only exclusively for you guys and for you to join and you not take advantage of all of the information and the accommodations. And I spend money to bring different experts in order to have conversations about your health and your wealth and your success and all of this stuff. Leverage it. You are part of a unique group of people that is getting it literally practically free. Literally practically free. Okay? So Karen Justice says, can I email you? I have 2 Shopify stores that could use help. No, Karen, because we have to do things in order. In order. We have to do it according to whatever the rules are, the regulations are. I have been pitching y'all. I have for over 3 months been telling y'all, yo, when we do the pitch your business, everybody basically can be able to pitch y'all business. No, y'all had to come on a day that I allocated for the afternoon to live stream for 6 hours. You got to be a bag chaser. Why would I fund your business if you're not even willing to invest in yourself as far as taking advantage of all of the information that I've already given you? So you can't email me with a pitch because you were supposed to pitch it to me in person so that I can give you the insight. Then I can fund the idea for your business, and then we can go from there. If you're not even a bag chaser, why would I do it? If you're not willing to invest in, look. It's people that literally join the Patreon that month. They paid $15, joined the Patreon, and some of them got over $2,000 in order to be able to fund their business. I don't know where you can get that type of love from. And all you had to do was come up with a decent idea, leverage the information that I have been giving to you guys. I do it every single year. I increase the budget every single year, and I gave you money in order to be able to start your business. Even people that was in the chat was like, hey, I want to connect with you and see if I can invest in your business too and stuff like that. And y'all don't even do the minimum thing in order for you to be successful. What do y'all want from me? Because I'm going to tell you, you are now a representation of me. And so don't walk around being dusty talking about you a bag chaser. No, don't walk around. Maybe I might have to create another level. I'm trying to get the dust off me level because it's only 3 levels. I opened it up for $9. I told everybody to join on the $9 tier that it was never coming back, and then they missed it, and then the $9 tier was up, and it was like, Anton, I just got my $9. I'm like, rules is rules. $15 tier. Hey, come pitch your business. Hey, come see me in person. People hit me up. Hey, my mom died. Hey, my funeral. And I'll be paying people's funerals and stuff like that. All y'all got to do is the minimum. The minimum. You have to do the minimum in order to get to the money and get to the bag. That's all you have to do. That's why the Bible itself says the faith of a mustard. Just go. Just give a little bit of effort in here. Multiply your efforts. But y'all got to do what's in your own best interest. Good God. All right, so if you are one of the people that wind up getting your business funded, or I said that I'm going to fund your business, make sure you send me a follow-up email like I instructed you to so that you can get your money and then actually put it into the business. I didn't even vet out whether or not you guys ever actually had real businesses. I just said, give me the pitch. Tech Coach Ralph says, if they didn't send their info after over a week, it was probably more of a hobby than a business. Well, I agree. But your hobby is supposed to translate into your business. That's the whole idea why I wanted you to vet out the idea effectively, right? No? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. We got a lot to cook up today, all right? Shout out to Tech Coach Ralph for holding me down and for all of the Patreon members. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get to it, all right? So, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Shout out to the Teach. Shout out to the Teach. We love Teach Hanley. If you want your skin smooth, see that skin? See all of that good skin? No makeup. No makeup. We not like Jadenia. You know, the dude that sung Classic Man that then said he wanted men to be able to compliment him on his makeup. We ain't do none of that. We got all smoothness. Hands might be a little bit ashy because we work out here in these streets. But the skin going to be smooth, and it's smooth as butter, baby. Yeah, real men work, but then we look good while we doing it. Make sure you get that Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. The best time to tap into the Patreon is the beginning of the month because I don't want you missing out on your blessings. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to it, all right? Shout out to the bag chasers. I'll be reading super chats throughout the show. We got a lot that we want to cover. Why y'all ain't telling me that Chicago mayor had got up on the podium and he was talking his talk and he was firing back? This man needs to really be held accountable and brung to the front of the congregation. All right, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Yeah. Bella said your skin is flawless. Teach Hanley, baby. If y'all not using that Teach, what we doing? All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. Anton made some upgrades in the studio, so I'm working on those over there. So after the show, we're going to be doing that in addition to sending y'all monies, and we're going to get it popping, all right? So first thing, you know what we do, we got to get to the quick hits. Quick hits is a segment of the show that we don't think necessarily deserves a full segment, but we definitely want to keep you guys informed on what's going on out here in these streets, man. The streets, man. So first up to quick hits. The United States of the Americas was having a little bit of a issue, and a U.S. warship had to intervene from drone strikes. Let me break it down for y'all.
A major escalation in the Middle East, multiple attacks on the Red Sea with ballistic missiles hitting commercial ships and a U.S. warship shooting down several drones. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, is tracking the latest from Washington. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. This morning, U.S. warships in the Red Sea are on high alert after this serious and significant escalation. We're talking about ballistic missiles hitting 3 commercial vessels in a busy shipping lane, with a U.S. warship trying to fend off more possible attacks and render aid.
The attacks lasted more than 7 hours. It began Sunday at 9:15 a.m. A ballistic missile fired from Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, landing in the waters near the cargo ship Unity Explorer. At 12 p.m., the USS Carney on patrol in the Red Sea when a drone launched from Yemen heads toward the Carney. The Navy crew shoots it down. At 12:35, the Unity Explorer under fire again. This time, the missile strikes the ship, while another drone is shot down as it heads towards the Carney. At 3:30 p.m., the cargo ship number 9 struck by a ballistic missile. 1 hour later, ballistic missile number 4 hits the cargo vessel Sophie. Again, the Carney racing to this cargo vessel to render aid as yet another drone is launched in the Carney's direction and shot down.
The important point here is that the Houthis are playing with fire by launching missiles over U.S. ships.
There were thankfully no injuries and largely minor damage to those cargo ships, but the Pentagon making clear that while the attacks were launched by the Houthis in Yemen, they were fully enabled by Iran. George?
So essentially, different cargo ships in the Red Sea, while a U.S. warship shot down 3 drones in self-defense during an hours-long assault. The U.S. military said the Iranian-backed Houthis claimed 2 of the attacks. The strikes marked an escalation in a series of maritime attacks in the Mideast linked to the Israel-Hamas war, as multiple vessels found themselves in the crosshairs of a single Houthi assault for the first time in the conflict. The U.S. vowed to consider all appropriate responses. Okay. In the wake of the attack, specifically calling out Iran after tensions have been high for years over Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. Hey, I was watching this movie over the weekend, actually yesterday, because I had an opportunity to be able to chill, rest. I stayed in the house all day. I kept my pajamas on until I ran outside and I wanted to get some gas, and then I had to vlog and I gave my thoughts and all that stuff. I was watching this movie over the weekend, and it was called, it was with Matt Damon, and it was like where they shrunk everybody down to 5 inches. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie. I forgot what the name of it was, but it was like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type of movie, but it wasn't really no kids in it, and it was just Matt Damon, and everybody had shrunk themselves down to 5 inches in order to be able to save the world because humans were just absolutely destructive, and they never was going to do the thing that was in their own best interest. It was a really, How Tall Are You? Is that what it was called? How Tall Are You? Downsizing. That's the name of the movie. It was called Downsized or Downsizing or something like that. But it really just documented the mindset of human beings, and that we are kind of like a bacteria. Not all of us, but most of us. And even when some of us actually try to do the thing that's in our best interest, Rome rules, mob rules, and that we wind up finding ourselves at a disadvantage. And it's just like, eventually we'll, and it's unfortunate because we're so smart and we're so intelligent, yet we can't solve for the most basic problems within our society, or maybe we just don't want to. And the nature of man is to be rebellious until we destroy ourselves. It was a really good movie. Watch it all the way up into the end. It was a lot of interesting things in it. Watch that. Watch the movie on Netflix where some guy was hunting down this killer that wound up killing his daughter or some crap like that. So lots of different stuff. So that's what's happening over there in the Red Sea. Also, Michael B. Jordan decided that, or a car that was registered to Michael B. Jordan, we don't know yet, decided that he wanted to crash his Hyundai into a Ferrari.
Also new this morning, DMV records show that a Ferrari registered to actor Michael B. Jordan crashed into a vehicle in Hollywood. You have video here. It happened around midnight.
That boy is mean. And he was over there crashing his car over there in Hollywood. What you doing over there in Hollywood? Ain't nothing out there but the devil, Mike.
On Sunset in North Beechwood, police say that this blue Ferrari crashed into a parked vehicle on the street, and no injuries were reported. Police are investigating the cause of that crash. Now, police also did not confirm if Jordan was the one driving, or if he was even in the vehicle at the time of the crash.
Hello,
So Mike decided that he or somebody that was driving a car that was registered to Mike decided that they wanted to be out in Hollywood late at night, strolling the strip, and the Rari, doing what the Rari do, and somehow, some way, they hit a parked vehicle. No injuries is the most important thing, but it says that actor Michael B. Jordan crashed his Ferrari in a parked car in Hollywood, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. Didn't, what's her name? Tiffany Haddish just get arrested for drunk driving over there in LA too. It said the incident happened on Saturday around midnight on Sunset Boulevard and Beechwood Drive. Hollywood is absolutely the pits for anybody that's been there. It's really trash. Police confirmed that the crash was an accident, not a DUI-related crash. So apparently he just either lost control, maybe he was texting and driving, he wasn't paying attention. But at the very least, we know that he wasn't drinking and driving, so that's great. Said no injuries reported. The Ferrari 812 Superfast can range anywhere from $310,000 to upwards of $690,000 for the car. He had been seen driving a luxury sports car around town. And that's even the car that he drove Lori Harvey to dinner in. Maybe that's why he crashed it. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Spotify decided that they wanted to do a third round of layoffs.
Spotify is being hit by its third round of layoffs this year as it tries to bring costs down.
The music streaming giant says it will be slashing around 1,500 jobs, or about 17% of its headcount. The cuts come after the company let 600 employees go in January and 200 more in June. Affected employees will be given about 5 months of severance pay. Spotify is one of several tech companies that have started reducing their workforces again after cutting jobs at the start of the year.
Now, here's the thing, right? Their stock price jumped after saying that it will cut 17% of its workforce. Earlier this year, it had reduced its headcount by about 600 people. This time, it's slashing jobs by about 1,500 employees. It says that the shares rose today after the music streaming service says it is laying off 17% of its workforce in a dramatic move aimed at reducing its costs and adjusting for a slowdown in growth. Well, what are we talking about when it comes to a slowdown in growth? At this point in the United States of America specifically, I don't really think that there is any more growth to be had outside of people that are born that then become immersed in it, that have an opportunity to join a streaming giant. But it's pretty much fully vetted out, and it's a mature market in that the only way that you really gonna have any growth is by having people convert over from another streaming service, or you have to grow outside of the United States of America worldwide, obviously. So there has to be additional markets for it to do so. And then I also was reading some news last week where Spotify was saying that it's not going to be paying artists that stream under a certain amount, and they're going to be going after record labels that are a part of stream farms. Now, stream farms, for those of you that are not familiar, maybe like something that's open up in a different country, and they have videos of it where it's like 1,000 phones and hundreds of phones as far as your eye can see, and they just playing the same things over and over again in order to try to get an artist streams up so that it can get into the algorithm and then hopefully try to make some money off of Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, so on and so forth, right? So it's saying that it's reducing its head count. Stock jumped. Email sent out to staff. Spotify CEO Daniel Elk said that Spotify was taking substantial action to right-size our costs, basically eliminate people so that they can reduce the amount that they're spending on they can reduce the amount they're spending on payroll. Adding that the company took on too many employees over the years 2020 and 2021 when capital was cheap and tech companies could invest significant sums in expanding their teams. The latest round of cuts equates to roughly 1,500 jobs, according to CNBC. Source familiar with the matter who preferred to remain anonymous discussing sensitive information. A Spotify spokesperson wouldn't comment on the exact number of roles affected by the measure, but they said over the last 2 years, we put significant emphasis on building Spotify into a truly great and sustainable business, one designed to achieve our goals of being the world's leading audio company and one that will consistently drive profitability and growth into the future. While we've made worthy strides, as I've shared many times, we still have work to do. Economic growth has slowed down dramatically. Capital has become more expensive, and Spotify is not an exception to these realities. What does that mean when it says that capital has become expensive? Well, it's very similar to what you guys talk about when it comes to interest rates, right? The ability for them to be able to borrow in order to continue to remain solvent and keep operations and even possibly expand into other countries and territories in order to continue to grow the business and make shareholders happy. They said that they reported earnings of $70 million of profit for the third quarter, citing lower spend, marketing, and personnel. So I would not be the type of person that actually invests in Spotify. I think that it is a horrible business model. They have too many hands in the pot. I think that they're not corrupt. I think that they are a company that I wouldn't recommend people to invest in because they have too many special interests that have a vested interest in seeing them successful. And then I don't think that it's a great company to work for based off of the fact that they are so volatile and they're interdependent on consumers in order to keep them propped up, which is one of the reasons why they're trying to rob artists as far as not paying them for the streams that they get, even though they pay the lowest in streams versus Apple Music and Tidal anyway. So that's your quick hits, ladies and gentlemen. Spotify laying off. U.S. warship had to intercept and defend cargo ships over in the Red Sea. And then last but not least, Michael B. Jordan did crash his car. That is your quick hits, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. First and foremost, I have a message for my people. All right. And the name of this show, or the title of this show, is called The Enemy. Before we deep dive into it, we want to bring Brandon Johnson to the front of the congregation because I cannot believe of all the things that I have been reviewing, I had forgot about Chicago. And Brandon Johnson did a whole press conference that I missed. Can you believe it? Anton missed it? Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. We also want to talk about living paycheck to paycheck, going broke, credit card debt, Columbus short. We got a lot to get to, right? But it's December and we just had Thanksgiving and we're moving over into Christmas for a lot of people. Some people celebrate it, some people don't. But more importantly, there's a lot of family gatherings around this time. It's cold outside. A lot of people like to do volunteer work around Thanksgiving, going into the holidays. We do Toys for Tots, Salvation Army, charitable donations, and all of this stuff, right? But amongst it, there is a lot of people that you're going to be interacting with from your past, your present, and then those that are you going to build relationships with in your future. And so the question that you have to ask yourself throughout this whole situation is, who is your enemy? Who is your enemy? For a lot of people, what they don't realize, and the thing that we've been trying to convince you of, is that your enemy could very well be the person that you're closest to. It could be a mother. It could be a brother. It could be a wife. It could be a husband. It could be your children. It could be your best friends. It could be somebody that you've never met before, somebody on your job. The enemy is anybody that is looking to slow you down and prevent you from getting to the spaces that you want to get to. I had a conversation on the Anton Daniels channel where I was helping people to understand that your friends are not your friends if they're not trying to make sure that you get into the best space possible and they're willing to sacrifice your success for the friendship. That's not friendship. And when people even pull up the dictionary a lot of times and they say, well, what is a husband? What is a wife? What is a friend? What is success? What is six simps? What is six simps? Huh? What is six simps? Super simps. You can't define it. You can set the foundation for it, but you can't truly define it because the context is what matters, right? And so when you take the example of a friend is somebody that's willing to leave you alone because they know that they are not good for you. It's not good for me to be around you because I don't want you to be influenced by what I'm into. And because they're unwilling to change their lifestyle, or they know that them being seen with you is not in your best interest. Maybe you on a pathway to being super successful. And they know that you hanging around them is bad for them because they should be spending their time on mastering their craft or being around a better group of people or trying to get out of the hood, or they have this great opportunity, or they willing to pass that opportunity up in order to keep it real. And anybody that lets you crash out or they're not willing to walk away from you in order to do the thing that's in the best interest of you is not your friend. That is your enemy. And the thing that people don't understand is that an enemy is anybody that is not your friend. Well, Anton, why are you being so extreme? There is an in-between. No, it's not. Not for me, it's not. Anybody that's in my pathway for what success is supposed to be is my enemy. I'm either hot or cold. I'm not lukewarm. I'm either in or I'm out. I don't keep my foot on both sides of the fence. I don't keep my foot on the door in order to prop it open just in case I'm looking to come back in. A lot of times people even get bothered when I give advice and I say, listen, either you're married or you're single. Ain't no in between. Ain't no such thing as a relationship. Either you in or you out. Either you're married or you're not. Either you successful or you're not. Either you're rich or you're poor. Either you my enemy or you my friend. Which one is it? Oh my God. Look at sis. I'm gonna take some time out to read that super chat specifically. Give me a second, sis. Let me cook for a minute. You such a blessing. You such a blessing. Either you're in or you out. Where do you stand? Either you a chaser or you looking to become a chaser. But it ain't no in between. It's no in between. And you're going to run into people at the dinner table, or you're going to find yourself feeling obligated to entertain people that you're not interested in entertaining. Don't y'all know that some of y'all have changed and y'all evolved? I know chasers. I know bag chasers. I've been coaching some people. I've been hanging out with some people. Some of y'all have been rocking with me since I've started this thing, since before this channel ever even started. And we was over there rocking out on the Anton Daniels channel. I'm going to read that super chat. I'm going to have to give that a special acknowledgement. Give me a second. Some of y'all have been rocking out with me since abandoned buildings, architecture, seeing my daughter, bring my daughter to work day, taking y'all through the process in real time of what I was going through when I was building out the restaurant. Some of y'all didn't even realize that my father had died, but I was still vlogging and giving y'all insight on what it is that I was building out and seeing it through. And it's a lot of people at that particular time, even ones that were very, very, very close to me that I didn't know that was my enemy at the time. But sometimes you don't even know that your enemy is your enemy until you start to go through something. And then you get to see those who are really for you, right? And it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means that we on two different sides of the fence. And so there are some people that doubted me. There are some people that doubt you. There are some people that you gonna see at the dinner table, or you gonna feel obligated to go over to and have a conversation with, or you feel as though this tradition is just a part of what your family doing, so you're gonna feel obligated to go over there and try to be nice, or they gonna try to emasculate you, and they gonna try to make sure and minimize your successes. Then they gonna say, hey, you the same old dude. Hey, remember when you did this? They gonna bring up your past. They're going to bring up your past. It's okay for you not to even entertain it. Matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say it's okay if you decide that you don't even want to go to the family function. If you don't want to spend the holidays with those people because you're going in a completely different direction, that is great. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to say it's okay. I'm going to say stay on the pathway to whatever success is supposed to mean for you, because somebody in the enemy is trying to throw you off your path. And they can very well use the people that are closest to you to do so. They still going to try to hold you to the same standards that you was at in 2005, 2006. Hey, man, I remember when you was broke. How you want me to respond to that? Me too. Meet me where I'm at, not where it is that you want me to be. Meet me where I'm at, not where it is that you want me to be. I ain't broke no more. I ain't broke no more. They want to take you back to the past in order to make themselves feel good. That's your enemy. You call them family just because y'all was born in the same circle or y'all got the same bloodline. That ain't your blood. That ain't your family. That's why it's so easy for me to not align myself with people just based off of the color of their skin, but the content of their character, because my family are the people that's going in the direction that I'm going. And it don't make you a bad person, but it does make you my enemy. It does, because it's only two choices. It's win or lose. The problem with society today is that there's too many participation trophies. The problem with society today is that there's too many participation trophies. Everybody just want to be included, but don't nobody want to actually do the work. Don't let people diminish your value. Don't let people slow you down. Listen. I know that there are people every single day that's looking to eat. They looking to take me down. If they could take my place and then take everything that I've been able to build, if they could take your place and take everything, if they could take your husband, if they could take your wife, if they could take your lifestyle, if they could take your car, if they could take your kids, they would. They're not going to say it to you overtly. Like, they're not going to be absolutely transparent. There's people that's in your household that's jealous of you. Don't you know it's some spouses that's jealous of the very person that they lay next to? They jealous of the attention. They jealous of the success. They jealous of the fact that you are going into a place and they can't take your place and they have to play their role in order for them to go on that journey with you. So they don't necessarily say anything to you because they don't want to mess up what it is that they got going on, but they've grown to have some discontent and some hate in their heart for you because they jealous of you, even though they laying next to you every day and they may even be having sex with you. They may even be having sex with you when they are your enemy. Don't you know that there are people that lay down next to you and have sex with you? May not even be your spouse. Don't you know that it's somebody that's in a relationship with you right now? That's your enemy. Think about it. If we had hindsight and our ability to be able to see who was going to put you on child support, you would then be able to reverse that decision and say, no, she was my enemy, but I had a child with her. She wasn't your enemy, or at least you didn't think she was your enemy when you was having sex with her, though. It's somebody that's going to take half your stuff. It's somebody that's going to cheat on you. It's somebody that's going to do you dirty. It's somebody that's going to play you. It's somebody from your past that you thought was your friend is going to come out and try to do you dirty and try to tell all of your business when you become successful. And you called them a friend, but was they ever really a friend when they was really an enemy? Because if you knew what they was going to do in the future, would you have still called them a friend? Think about it. When I give y'all game on what success is supposed to be when it comes to relationships, for example, I teach not to vet for what it is that you are, but vet for where it is that you going, because everybody ain't going to deserve to be on that same pathway with you. One of the biggest problems with men that become successful is that they pick based off of where they at instead of where it is that they going. And so the person is not willing to work or be able to be the version that they need to be in order for him to continue to propel himself and be on his purpose. And then she becomes the purpose because she's the distraction for what he's supposed to be doing. That's why I say don't focus on women, focus on your purpose. And then God even set it up to where she's a helpmeet, not what it is that he's supposed to pedestalize. Anything that you pedestalize, if you worship in a woman, she becomes your God. Y'all not hearing me. Y'all not hearing me. If you worship anything before what it is that you're supposed to be doing, that's your God. So when you get out of purpose and we see these people saying that they want a partner instead of I want a husband or I'm looking for a wife, what happens is they step outside of what they're supposed to be doing, and then they align themselves and trauma bond with the enemy instead of aligning themselves with the perfect person that's supposed to align with them when they're going on this pathway to success. When you vet, you're not vetting for where you going, you vetting for where you at. It is difficult for you because then you start to do things based off of her satisfaction instead of her being a helpmeet and then being the recipient of your greatness based off of where it is that you're going. There's a blueprint for success, but you don't want to hear me though because you're so busy trying to debate me based off of the fact that you don't like me instead of whether or not it's actually true or not. There's a blueprint for success. Some of y'all are son husbands. One of the most disappointing things that I hear in society today. Give me a second. Let me cook. Let me cook for a minute. One of the most disappointing things that I see in society today is people say, well, who gonna take care of you when you get old? That's not your child's responsibility. You didn't have a child so that they can be your slave. You had a child so that you can then nurture them, and then hopefully they can become greater than you, not for you to be a burden on their life. So when I see people then make themselves a mama wife to a son husband, that then becomes your enemy. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. Anybody that is throwing you off your pathway for what success is supposed to look like so that you can then pour into and make sure that you're leaving this earth in a better space had you not been here is your enemy. Anything that is standing in your way is your enemy. Your mother, your father. If they love you, they're going to let you go and do what you're supposed to do. They're going to enable you in order to continue to be successful, not prevent you from getting to where you're supposed to be at in your destination so they can feel good about themselves. That's your enemy. Anything and anyone that is in your way, they have to be moved. They have to be moved. It's a lot of people that came into this game with me. It's a lot of content creators that leapfrog off of our shoulders in order to continue to launch their own platforms. A lot of them ain't here no more. If it was up to them, they would have stopped us, me and you, because this is our thing. They would have stopped us from continuing to elevate. And so at some point, come on, I need you to read between the lines here. At some point, you have to divest yourself from the thing that you used to do so that you can continue to elevate and go where it is that you're supposed to be. I can't let anybody, you can't let anybody slow your growth, slow what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And so at some point and on a regular basis, I need y'all to do one thing. Take inventory of where you at and inventory of who's around you, and then look at the pathway by which you're supposed to travel and make an informed decision on whether or not you want to continue that relationship. And it ain't meaning that there's something wrong with them. It just means that y'all growing in two different directions. And if they try to stop you, they then become your enemy. Now, that don't mean that you need to do something against them, but what it means is you need to maybe cut them off or move completely differently because everybody not meant to go on the same path as you. The road to success is narrow. Everybody ain't going to come. There's people that you met in high school that's going to be with you for the rest of your life, and there's some that you was with that ain't going to be there no more. You don't owe nobody nothing. As you go into this holiday season, recognize and realize what your purpose is and then move accordingly. You have a purpose. You have a destination that you're supposed to get to before you get the end of your time on this earth. Meet it. Meet the expectation. Hit every number. Be outstanding. Exceed expectations. Make the money. Be successful. Have a good time while doing it. Enjoy people while they're there. But don't take too much stock in it because you have a purpose to be successful at. And I'm telling you, real men understand that you got to do what you don't do. The measure of a man, remember this, if you don't remember anything that I told you today before we get into the show, the true measure of a man is doing what he don't want to do when he don't want to do it. I love you, but I got to let you go. I love you, but I got to let you go. The one that stay at the company for 30 years is the one that get laid off before they get their pension. The one that stay at the company for 30 years is the one that get laid off before they get their pension. The ones that's remembered, the ones that's successful, leverage the information, they move on, they take whatever it is that they can take, they build great relationships, and then they go on to the next thing. I'm not looking in my past in order to go to the companies that I used to work for. I'm never going backwards. I'm never going back. I don't want to go back and fix up the hood. If the hood ain't serving me like I served it, then I have to move on. You don't owe nobody nothing. I don't have to go back and try to find out what an ex was doing. That's why they call her an ex, because I'm getting rid of her. I don't have to go and figure out what it is that you got going on in your life because you was one of the ones that I grew up with. I ain't that curious. I don't even want that to be in my algorithm. Forward and up. Forward and up. You can't go forward while looking at the rear view. You got to let that go. The past is the past. Ask for forgiveness. Make things right. and then you move forward. Don't let nobody in your family this holiday season. If you don't feel as though you need to go, then don't go. If you don't want to be around certain people, then don't be around them. You make sure you stay focusing on the pathway and you don't slow down for nobody and no one. You run it up and you be successful and you run up them numbers. Flat out. If you needed any confirmation as to what it is that you're supposed to be doing, if you were in question and you was trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing going into 2024, this is your pathway. You know where you're supposed to be. Set the destination, milestone it out, make sure you hold yourself accountable, get with the people that you're supposed to get with. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat, and meet the expectation. Matter of fact, exceed the expectation. Nothing and nobody is supposed to be stopping you. Look around. It's over 1,700 people that's on this live stream right now and growing. Guess what? In 2024, on December 3rd, December 4th, 2024, it's going to be some people that fall the fuck off, and it's going to be some people that's still riding with us. And we're going to be bigger. We're going to be better. We're going to continue to grow, God willing. It's going to be some people here that's watching this right now that fell off. And they're going to be hitting me up the same way that they always do and say, Anton, I had a coaching session with you. You told me what it is that I was supposed to do. I decided to do it my own way, and now I'm trying to get back into the fold. Make a decision, man. Make a decision. We're going up and forward. Up and forward. That's the way. I am not my past. I am not my neighborhood. I am not my family. I am a new creature. I plot my own path and I create my own way. I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't owe the black community nothing. I don't owe anybody nothing. The only thing I owe is who it is that I pray to when I ask for insight on what it is that I'm supposed to be doing on a regular basis. I don't owe nobody nothing. I only got one daughter. One daughter. That's it. All right? Focus. Focus. Stop being distracted. Let me acknowledge the people out here in these streets. Oh, my God. I just had to say that. Felt like somebody needed to know that. You know what I'm saying? Let me acknowledge the people. Hold on. First and foremost, I'm going to get to that one last. Let me do the dance stand yoga. Hey, dance stand yoga, let me ask you a question. They say most yoga teachers be trying to sleep with their students. Is that true? Shout out to you for the 2-ball. I appreciate you. Jacques Quinn is in the building, says, love Anton. You talking real advice on potential rising. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for continuing to hold me down. Anthony is in the building. Anthony says, hey, to Anton, if you have an idea for an innovative product, what would be the best steps to bring that product to reality? And do you recommend any grant programs that can help with prototype costs and other things? Yeah, I'll recommend any free money. And again, I'd have to know the product in detail because there's so many different industries that you could be talking about. You could be talking about robotics. You could talk about information technology, e-commerce. The first thing that I would advise people is to get a mentor. Get a mentor that can guide you through the process, that can help you not make mistakes that you would normally make if you didn't have the information or the guidance of somebody that already knows. That's the first thing that I would ask you to do. Second thing is I would say you always want to mind your business, meaning that you have to be invested in it, and you can't just depend on grants in order to grow the company. If you don't have a personal interest in it, if your only interest is using other people's money in order to build it, I don't think people are as passionate about it. I think you have to have some skin in the game. Third, you have to then become focused, and you need to develop a real business plan to know where it is that you're going. Because if you're just shooting in the dark and shooting off the hip, you're going to have a lot of painful moments. But absolutely go for the grants. Absolutely get that free money and absolutely use that funding. You need to send an email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com, so we can go through that. Shout out to Anthony. I appreciate you, big dog. And oh my God, hold on. Give me a second. I got to hit it one more time. Sister. You know what sister. What up, sis? Says, good afternoon, Mr. Anton Daniels. Blessings to you and your family. Congrats on your decision of not eating meat. I've been a vegan for 17 years and my first name is Renata. Nickname Nada. Shout out to Nada. Shout out to Sister Nada. Says, here's a little something for fruits and veggies. I'm happy to offer vegan culinary hacks and info and can be reached at Sis Veganata. Let me take a picture of this. I'm going to follow Sis Veganata. I'm hoping that you're on Instagram, but I'm going to reach out to you today because I need to understand exactly what it is that I need to. I don't know what I don't know, but God put certain people in your life as a result of it. Sis, let me say something. First of all, I'm very, very thankful because you do not have to do this. I never ask for super chats, but I always want to acknowledge the people that hold us down. Sis. I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, 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 really want to bless you. You know what I'm saying? So any value that I could add to you, I'm going to hit you up, sis. I'm going to hit you up. Hopefully you on Instagram. I'm going to hit you up, but I really, really do want to acknowledge you and say that you are a blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for holding us down over here at MMS, the Millionaire Morning Show. Shout out to you. Thank you. For those of you that have not watched the video that I just dropped inside of the Patreon, please do so. And shout out to sis. You know what's so funny, sis? You know what's so funny? I've been sending out money all morning long. Real talk. I've been sending out money all morning long. My entire morning, I just been sending out $1,000, $500, $750, $2,000. And then to see somebody, you know what? It's almost like to see somebody else actually, you know what I'm saying, pour back into you. It is meaningful. It's very, very meaningful. It's very, very meaningful. A lot of people, listen, I'm not even going to front. All I've been doing is sending out money all morning. My whole morning has been consumed with sending out money. All you see is pending and money. My entire morning has just been sending out money. 500, 500, 600, 1,000, 500, 500. All I've been doing is sending out money to people all morning. And to see somebody, I've been zelling people all morning. All morning I've been zelling people. And so to see somebody pour back into us the way that they pour back into us, the way that you have, I'm very, very thankful. I'm very, very thankful. Very, very thankful. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you, my love, for holding me down. You are very much appreciated, and thank you for supporting me on my new journey of not eating meat. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Let's get started with the show. Shout out to the Chasers. Shout out to everybody. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is bring Columbus Short to the front of the congregation. Now, a lot of people may not be familiar with Columbus Short. I know him from a couple different movies from when I was younger. One of them, I believe, was Stomp the Yard, but I remember Columbus Short. And Columbus Short, I haven't really heard from Columbus Short recently, but he did drop a video on Instagram, and he went live, apparently. And I want to share this video with you guys, all right? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
I'm snitching. I'm snitching in the kitchen. Diddy. Gotta tell on him. He tried it on me, so I know it's true. I was married, my ex-wife. I got a phone call in the middle of the night, about 2:30 in the morning. It was, my wife says, pick up the phone. It was an unknown number. Pick up the phone. What bitch is calling you? Who's calling you? Picked up the phone.
All right, so let's stop there for a second. Well, actually, I want to play the whole thing, and then I'm going to go back and break it down.
It was Diddy. And he said, hey, man, we didn't see what the BET Awards you know, what you doing? I'm like, I'm in bed with my wife. He said, I'm at the Beverly Hills Hilton, the Beverly Hills Hotel. I said, oh, I said, what's up? I said, who over there? He said, just me.
All right, so let me back up for a minute. I want to play this one more time for the guys in the back, because I just want to hit this really quickly, and then we go pause, and then I'm gonna go from there.
I'm snitching. I'm snitching in the kitchen. Diddy.
First and foremost, why did Columbus Short feel the need to be a Me Too victim? Nobody was checking for Columbus Short. Nobody cared about what his thoughts were. I didn't see him doing an interview. I mean, he may very well be doing well, and he may be in a good space. Who knows? Maybe he got a good role coming up or something like that. Nobody was tripping. Nobody was looking to see what Columbus Short had to say. Nobody. And the first thing he do is drop a video talking about how he's snitching about something that nobody asked him of. Now, I'm not a fan of Puff. I've never met Puff. The closest that I've got to somebody that was next to Puff was somebody that was at a party with Puff of significance. And he told me, he said, man, I met this dude. And he said, Anton off the record, so on and so forth. And then he went on to give me some insight. And I said, interesting. But that man had never had any kind of petition. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Petitioning or sexual experience to where Puff had his phone number or anything like that. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Now, that conversation that I had with him was way before all of these allegations against Puff, right? But I don't even really care for Puff. Like, I think that he's a substandard artist. I think that he's great at marketing to black people. And when I told y'all that Puff was selling y'all a dream with the whole Ciroc, then he sold liquor into his people that he said that he loved so much, and he capitalized off of y'all, but he was really crazy out here in these streets, and he wasn't even really going to be able to finesse this thing and continuing to become a multi-billionaire based off of the lawsuit that he was filing against Diageo. I believe that it was going to be a downfall. And I reviewed the video that he did on Earn Your Leisure, in which he was having a conversation, but not really giving any real game about what it takes in order to get to the bag, but he was selling dreams, like most rappers and entertainers do. Now, that's not a knock on him personally. That's really just me assessing the conversation that was being had, and I'm able to separate the conversation from the person, right? But I'm indifferent about Puff, and so much so to where I believe it's important for us to remain indifferent about people in order to get to the truth. The problem with us, especially the black community, men and women, because men operate in their femininity, and then they get emotional about a situation. And when I see something may come out and some information may be had or a conversation had been communicated, people are so busy being against the person instead of being against the information or speaking specifically about the information. That's why a lot of these women can't get the insight on how to get married, because they so focused on not liking me, even though I'm gorgeous, instead of being focused on the game that I'm giving you. I digress. But I'm able to parse through and say, okay, I like what he said. I didn't like what he said. I like this about what he said. I didn't like what he said. But what that also allows for me to do is to evaluate whether or not it's a money grab. I can look and I can say, well, I think that Cassie did it because she was trying to finesse some money. And so she used the lawsuit in order to tear him down and get that bag, because I don't even know what her husband do for a living. So her money must be running short, and I could look at it objectively. But very few people are able to see through the weeds because they so focused on a person. And so you got a person with the Macho Man Randy Savage glasses on, named Columbus Short, that nobody was checking for, and a Duck Dynasty hoodie. Who told him to go with those fashion choices? Who can say? But you got Duck Dynasty Macho Man Randy Savage over here. Decided to be a Me Too advocate, as though guys ain't going through enough. You got Cuba Gooding Jr. out here in these streets, Axl Rose, Jamie Foxx. Over 2,500 lawsuits out here in these streets, and Columbi decide that he want to go Columbo and be a Me Too advocate and tell his little story. So the first question that I would have for Columbus is,
gotta tell on him. He tried it on me, so I know it's true.
why is Diddy reaching out to Columbo in the first place? See, now I'm looking at you in the light a little differently, right? Because that's not even a story that I would even feel comfortable telling if I'm you. If don't nobody know about it, why did he try you? Why did he feel comfortable calling you in the middle of the night? Why did he feel comfortable calling Macho Man Columbus short in the middle of the night? What impression did you give him? What kind of conversations was y'all having? Why did he see you as meat and food and he didn't try some of these other people? Why did he look at you in the same vein as he looked at Farnsworth Bentley? That's all I'm asking. Now I wish I would have interviewed him, because now I'm giving out the sauce, because I want to know why he's seeing you as an opportunity and why he decided to call your phone and how he got your number to call your phone in the first place. Is this the first time that y'all talked? Did y'all text? What's the details? And why do you feel it necessary in order to have this conversation? Let's continue.
I was married, my ex-wife.
Somebody says, Anton, didn't Fleece try you? No. We had security in the room, his people, my wife was in the room. There's a lot of people in the room. Let me say this. Fleece knows how to play the game, and he knows that I need to get my money's worth. And so he gonna do what he got. See, I don't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? Because we in the entertainment game, and so it's necessary. Listen, if it was that, then why would I have aired it? Why did I put it out there for the people to be able to see it? But see, that's the thing that black people do. Instead of staying focused on the thing that we focused on, they want to attack the messenger instead of paying attention to the message. So now I have to be distracted and talk about something that ain't even relevant to the conversation, right? I got to get distracted because you so focused on jumping on Columbus's short. You know what I'm saying? You want to jump on Columbus's short. Why is Columbus's wife cussing at him, according to him, ex-wife, meaning that he couldn't even hold it down? Why is Columbus's wife cussing him out in the middle of the night in the bed? Why is Columbus's wife cussing him out in the bed in the middle of the night?
I got a phone call in the middle of the night, about 2:30 in the morning. It was, my wife says, pick up the phone. It was an unknown number.
Your wife bossed you over and said, pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. What bitch is calling you? Who's calling you? Picked up the phone. It was Diddy. And he said, hey, man, we didn't see you at the BET Awards. You know, what you doing? I'm in bed with my wife. He said, hey, I'm at the Beverly Hills Hilton.
So think about what he just said. He said, what you doing? I ain't seen you at the BET Awards. This is coming out of Columbus's mouth. He said, what you doing? According to Columbus said,
what you doing? I'm in bed with my wife.
Columbus said, I'm in bed with my wife. I'm in bed with my wife. But then Diddy proceeded to say,
he said, hey, I'm at the Beverly Hills Hilton, the Beverly Hills Hotel. I said, what's up? I said, who over there? He said, just me.
So, you told him, I'm in the bed with my wife. And then he said, I'm at the hotel by myself. according to you. I'm in the bed with my wife, but I'm at the hotel by my. So he don't even have enough respect and love for your situation, which tells me that it's I'm not looking at. Listen, we know who Diddy is. Ain't nobody confused about the fact that it's a possibility that Diddy liked the BBC. Ain't nobody confused about the possibility that Diddy liked BBC. That's not a crazy thing. Like, if it came out that, yeah, Diddy is gay, would anybody in here be surprised? No. I'm going to just go. That's a rhetorical question. No. Is anybody surprised? No. If he is or if he isn't, nobody will be surprised, right? When everybody started coming out and they started telling on Will, or when Jada was emasculating Will, was anybody trying to figure out why she was doing it or why she felt comfortable enough to be able to do it? No. We just use our context clues in order to come to a conclusion to figure out that, oh, okay, she must just got something on him. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't surprised, which I don't think that Will deserve to get his business thrown out in the street, nor do I think that Diddy deserved to get his business thrown out in the street. But for the sake of conversation, nobody is surprised. Like, ain't nobody confused. The thing that I am questioning, though, is why is he calling you from a block number on your personal cell phone while you in the bed with your wife? And you say it out loud, because any real dude know. Okay, fellas. Question before we get over into Brandon Johnson. Here's the question. I'm in the bed. Watch this. Watch this. I ain't even got to say nothing. Watch this. Women ain't even crazy. This is how he got caught.
Hello.
Hey, you busy?
No.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
If and this is just your opinion, right?
A lot of pressure, but go ahead.
It's not pressure. It's just a funny question. If I get a phone call at 3 a.m. and I say, "Hey, I'm in the bed with my wife," what am I doing? In your opinion? Be honest.
Well, I mean, I can't answer it based off of you. If that was somebody else that said that, I would think they was trying to hide something.
Exactly. So if you in the bed, let's just say that it's not you just be in the bed and, I got a history of doing bad things, right?
Right.
And I answer the phone and I say, "Hey, I'm in the bed with my wife. What you want?" Out loud. What does that mean?
That means you telling the other person on the other line to shut up and not say nothing that your wife can hear.
Exactly. Thank you. I ain't gotta. Nigga, this ain't rocket science. Why do he feel comfortable? Why is Diddy calling Columbus, and then Columbus making an announcement and saying, "Hey, I'm in the bed with my wife." Nigga, now we now looking at you with the side eye like, Because if you a real one and if you ain't got nothing to worry about, you're going to be like, "Man, I don't know who this is calling me. Well, yo, what's up? Yo, fam, what up? What is it? Man, what you calling me for this late, bro? Hey, man, I got to go, bro. Man, hit me up later because I don't know what the hell is going on." Like, that's how you just a natural dude. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I don't know what the hell is going on. Hello? Hey, what you doing? You won't come to the hotel tonight? No, I'm in the bed with my wife. Listen to he said it. He said it. He thought he was being funny and exposing Diddy, but I'm looking at Columbus a little differently now.
He tried it on me, so I know it's true. I was married, my ex-wife. I got a phone call in the middle of the night, about 2:30 in the morning. It was my wife says, "Pick up the phone." It was an unknown number. Pick up the phone. What bitch is calling you? Who's calling you?
I think he modified that a little bit. If I had to guess, she probably said, who calling you, not what B is calling you, because now I'm thinking that you look a little funny in the light, Columbus. She might have thought it was, when you said it was Diddy, she might have been like, oh my God, I'm so scared because I don't know if you on that other side. I don't know if you're a switch hitter.
Picked up the phone. It was Diddy. And he said, hey man, we didn't see what the BET Awards. You know, what you doing? I'm in bed with my wife.
I use my context clues. I'm sorry. I just read it. I don't like when dudes start playing this game. I think that it's corny that he out here doing it. And I think he a sucker for it. I think that Columbus Short, look, we may not necessarily care for Diddy and he might be a scumbag in a lot of ways. But at the very least, I respect Diddy more than I respect Columbus. Because at the very least, Diddy ain't out here running his mouth like a female in the Me Too argument. Watch up, man. When I say who the enemy, the name of this video, the name of this live stream is called The Enemy. Watch for these type of dudes. If you see a dude that walk up to you in Macho Man Randy Savage glasses with a Duck Dynasty hoodie on, willing to go out here and have a conversation and say, hey, man, let me tell you what happened. Get away from him. Get away from him. Don't tell him. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Run away from this type of dude because he is going to come through when somebody else got something to say about you at the family gathering. He going to say, yeah, man, I seen what he did too. You know this type of dude. You know this type of dude. This is the type of dude that's going to be with the gossip queens on December 26th when y'all all come together as a family. He going to be in there while the chicks is in there cutting the cake. They're going to be cutting the pound cake and stuff for the dinner. All of the fellas is going to be watching football. He going to be in there with the gossip queens telling all of the business. Watch for this dude. I know that. I know your type. I know your type. I know your type. I know your type, Columbus. I know your type, Columbo. I can't stand these type of dudes. So you decided to join in on the Me Too movement, huh? You cornball, sucker free. Like, man, I can't. Oh man, if this was Wednesday night on the Anton Daniels channel, I would be talking a little bit differently. But I know that the church got to make sure that they get they offering, and they don't want to have me, you know what I'm saying, on in the daycares with me talking negative about the people the way that I would talk about them on the Anton Daniels channel. So stay tuned for that, Columbo. You sucker. Let me read some of the super chats. I don't like these type of dudes. I can't. Man, listen, we expect women to be women, but we don't expect men to be women. I can't stand them type of dudes, bro. Jeweled Alchemy Soap is in the building, says, for those looking for a mentor, there's an organization called SCORE Association. They have an incredible network and will connect with folks and mentor, or y'all can get inside of the Discord and make sure that y'all align yourself with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. Shout out to the Jeweled Alchemy Soap Company LLC in the building. Shout out to Iceberg Slim, says Buffy was trying to tamper with homie Bussy. Black Beauty in the building, says Shorts outfit is given Brokeback Mountain. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Queen B in the building says, have you watched that Cam Newton and C. White interview? Nah. I plan on watching it tomorrow night because I was going to be catching a flight over to Vegas in order to go to the in-season tournament championship for the NBA. We'll get there. I plan because I like to watch it in its entirety. You know what I'm saying? I heard it was popping though. Shout out to my dog Charleston. That's my guy. That's my dog. Iceberg Slim in the building, says Buffy was trying to take that boy shopping. Jody says, ain't no dude calling me I ain't never had a dude just randomly call me at 3 a.m. unless we was live streaming and he was saying, Anton, look out for this or whatever. That's crazy. Big one M Dub says, Diddy said, I likes you and I wants you and I'ma have you. You know what I'm saying? Blaze Skywalker in the building says, explain to another man who he's in bed with, he's sweet as deer meat, bro. I think that these dudes is corny. I genuinely do think that these guys is corny. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. I'll be reading super chats throughout the show. Make sure that you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. For those of you that I did fund, I reached out to you guys with an email. You guys need to send me your Zelle information or information by which I can actually wire you a payment, and we're going to get there, all right? Brandon Johnson, I'm mad at y'all. Let me just say this before we continue on with the show. I'm mad. I'm mad. I am. I'm absolutely disappointed in you guys. Because you guys did not tell me that Brandon Johnson held a press conference and Anton didn't get a chance to be able to say whatever it is that I wanted to say. Somebody said I emailed you. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. I emailed you, why'd you stop eating meat? Because I want to be healthy. Because I don't think it's best for us. I don't think that we're supposed to be eating meat. That's just me. I didn't know that Brandon held a press conference. I did not know.
Good morning, and thank you, Pastor Zeiss, for that introduction, and I'm grateful for all of you who are here this morning. I would like to especially recognize the entire faith community, the faith community that has stepped up from the very beginning to support this mission. I'm joined by the faith community and our philanthropic partners to demonstrate our full force of government approach to address this humanitarian crisis. City government is maintaining our efforts to welcome and resettle asylum seekers here in Chicago, and we are making progress. In partnership with the state, we have successfully helped over 10,000 new arrivals to resettle in the area and reunite with family and friends in various places.
Gosh, thank God. Hey, look at God working. Look at God working. Look at God working, because he did not want me to say what I had said, because the church would not have said amen to that message. The church would not have said... Listen, at the very least, you got to respect Brandon Johnson. You got to respect Brandon Johnson, because I'm going to modify my message slightly. You got to respect Brandon Johnson because he stand on his square. He don't cut his hair. He don't move off his message. He stay with his faith leaders. Thank you, God, for making sure you censored me and kept my microphone on mute. I don't even know how my microphone got on mute. But God be holding me. You can't tell me that miracles don't exist. You can't tell me that miracles don't exist. Yeah, but you got to respect him, because it doesn't matter what his politics is. He going to stand 10 toes down, even if it destroys the community, even if it messes up the budget. He stand 10 toes down. Let me go ahead and play this.
And we are currently...
I might have to speed it up, because this dude be talking real slow. Playback speed 1.25.
Working with the state to expedite the work authorization process as much as possible so that new arrivals can get jobs, and to do it more quickly. But importantly, to become integrated into the life of our city. I'm happy to share that in recent weeks, we have successfully transitioned all of our new arrivals out of half of our police districts into city shelters.
Now, notice he don't call them migrants or illegal immigrants or anything like that. He specifically or strategically uses his words, right? He say they're the new arrivals, similar to when you had a bunch of kids and the teenagers was out here in these streets late at night tearing up cars, hitting people with guns and all of that. He said, don't call them that. Call them a large gathering. Call them a large gathering.
and we are preparing them for the next step of their journey. I'd like to take a moment to thank the hundreds of volunteers and mutual aid groups, including the church groups, for their incredible efforts to support asylum seekers at police stations. It has made a difference for thousands of people. This mission continues, but as winter fast approaches, our need for greater collaboration and coordination grows. And that is why we are mobilizing Chicago's faith community and our partners in the philanthropic community to meet this moment. And after extensive conversations and outreach with the faith community and our philanthropic partners, my administration formed a partnership of churches and community organizations around the city of Chicago. I'm excited to announce the Unity Initiative, a multi-layer approach that seeks to bring Chicago together, including an interfaith partnership dedicated to helping us move migrants out of police stations and onto the path of resettlement and self-sufficiency.
He used a lot of big words, but I'm going to break it down from a C student's perspective. Basically, he said that we took migrants and we taking care of them, and we're going to make sure that they get jobs, opportunities, housing, and that they be able to thrive over here in Chicago. All right, let's continue.
This is the soul of Chicago that I've been speaking of from my first day in office. A diverse, intergenerational, interracial, interfaith coalition of communities coming together to help those in need. That's who we are, and that's who we will always remain. Chicago's faith community has long nurtured the soul of Chicago. From welcoming over 500,000 Black people to Chicago during the Great Migration, to helping thousands of asylum seekers today, it's been the faith community that has shown its tremendous support for families throughout generations. In the face of divisive forces that continue to desperately work to tear our city apart, we will overcome this humanitarian crisis, and we will do it together.
Now he's channeling his inner Martin Luther King. He said, we will overcome. We will overcome. He's channeling his inner African spiritual, and he said, listen, together we're going to root out the issues within our communities by making sure that we go against these divisive forces, and we're going to overcome the things that are then putting us at a disadvantage as far as making sure that we can help all of these people that's coming into our country illegally. And then he hasn't even gotten to the part where he started blaming people yet, but we going to get there.
And it will ultimately lead towards a better, stronger, and a safer Chicago. At no cost to the taxpayers of Chicago, thanks to the philanthropic community, the Unity Initiative will prioritize getting pregnant women, children, and all of those sleeping outside of police stations or on the floors into temporary housing as quickly as possible through churches all over the city of Chicago.
Pregnant migrants.
And there they will have access to case management and assistance finding permanent housing through the work of our philanthropic partners. Our faith community will open their doors doing what they do best, providing food, hold winter clothing drives, connect migrants to supportive services and to the hospitality of community members, and so much more. This is just one of many creative solutions we are finding to address the humanitarian crisis for the people of Chicago. I cannot express how grateful I am. My gratitude to the network of partners and faith leaders who are stepping up at this critical time. And thank you for doing your part, living out Chicago's values and taking care of our new neighbors. And thank you for being a shining example to everyone. I hope that everyone follows in this example that our faith community is setting today. Because everyone has something that they can do. Everyone can contribute to this mission. The timing could not be more crucial. We cannot abandon families and asylum seekers and let them go through Chicago's winter alone. I call upon all of our faith institutions and our partners in business, philanthropy, labor, to come together to find solutions to help asylum seekers find self-sufficiency.
How come they don't have the same vigor for people that's already here in the United States of America? How come we don't have the same passion for the people that's already here? How come we don't have the same call of action from our church leaders and our business partners and the taxpayers and the residents to do their part in order to ensure that this city is taken care of prior to people that's coming in to visit that you don't even know and can't even speak the language. How is this possible? Why does this make sense? Honestly, I think that this is literally his coming out party when it comes to him possibly trying to become a force of what it means to be a liberal, and in his initial descent to hopefully maybe become some kind of president or vice president. Well, honestly, I believe that Brandon Johnson is looking at it differently than Eric Adams. Eric Adams already didn't catch his L. I don't think Eric Adams ever going to get elected again. I don't have no faith in the people in Chicago to actually not elect Brandon Johnson again, because I think that y'all support him. I think that y'all support him. I think that y'all support this agenda, what it is that he's got going on. I think that y'all believe in him. I think y'all rocking with him. I believe that y'all are going to forget about every single thing that we brought up as far as where all of the money and the resources is going, when he called everything large gathering, all of the crime and the reduction in the police force and under allocation of money and messing up the budget. I believe that eventually he's going to watch it. If he get his neck, I'm going to be around, because he only 7 months into his administration. He's only 7 months in. I believe this guy is making his pitch for his long-term success in politics, and he's doing it on this particular issue in order to bring recognition to himself. I believe this is his moment.
Efficiency. By empowering our new neighbors to find work, housing, and more in our great city, we're investing in a collective, brighter future. I'm grateful that the Alderman of the 6th Ward, Alderman Will Hall, is with me today. And thank you, everyone who has already stepped up, supporting this mission. In this moment,
shout out to my cash appers. I'm going to read the super chat shortly.
The needs of Chicago is to be sacrificed for the needs of people who want to become Chicagoans. Help me understand what you mean by you said that. When does somebody, in your estimation, become a Chicagoan?
Yeah, thank you for that question. First, let me just acknowledge I'm grateful that Reverend Jackson has found his way to the west side of Chicago. Thank you, Reverend, for being here today in grand fashion.
What do you mean, Reverend Jackson? Which Reverend Jackson? Which Reverend Jackson? Let me just play this.
You know, I've said repeatedly, and I've mentioned this when I was running for mayor, that no one should lose at the expense of someone else winning. My message has been pretty consistent. There are families who live in Chicago who have, particularly black and brown folks, who have experienced austere budgets, school closures, mental health closures, public housing shutting down, jobs being lost. And for many of these families, they recognize that they have a leader in me that's going to invest in people, because that's what I promised that I would do. And too often, we have a zero-sum operation where the wishes and desires of people are sacrificed or given to someone that quite frankly, doesn't have the same motivation, right? And so too many budgets before where black and brown folks were sacrificed to benefit corporations and austere budgets. And what I've simply said is this: those who live in Chicago and those who who've had the benefit of living in Chicago, that I am still committed to investing in those families. And those wished to call Chicago their home, we're committed to investing in them. My message has been clear and consistent.
How? We just looked at the budget. The budget ain't said nothing about investing in no people. How? Man, I'm tired of man, y'all not going to keep getting finessed like this, are y'all?
I had a follow-up. I'm sorry. And can you talk about why beginning construction on the base camp didn't right in part before we see the environmental report about what sort of any potential contamination or threat could be posed? Why do it that way?
Well, this is the way we've been doing it. You know, I haven't veered off from my mission. Look, the international crisis that I inherited 6 months ago, I've made it very clear that we are going to make sure that we remove people.
First pass blame, saying it's not my fault, this is not my problem, I just inherited this. And so the decisions that I'm making is not based off of anything that I'm responsible for. We're going to have to blame Lori Lightfoot for that. First pass blame on the low, and then continue to answer the question.
A lot of police districts, women and children who are living on floors and sleeping outside, that we're going to create spaces that provide more dignity. As we have assessed throughout this entire process, we have
I got this at 1.25 speed, and it sounds like he talking normal. This is how slow he talk.
continued to build along with that assessment. And so for every assessment, for every test that we put forth, it sets us up to take the next step. Now you're going to have a full report of this national guideline for environment. You'll have that by the end of the week.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What would you want to see from the border deal that's being discussed in Congress? And would you want some limits placed on the flow of migrants from other cities and states?
Well, it has to be better coordination. You know, what we've seen is a very raggedy form instituted by right-wing extremism. Everyone knows that the right-wing extremism in this country has targeted democratically ran cities. And quite frankly, they've been very intentional about going after democratically ran cities that are led by people of color. And their whole motivation is to create disruption and chaos, because that's what that particular party has been about, right? This is the same political party that did not want to accept that President Obama was actually an American. It's the
Oh, no. I can't believe that he combined the race card with the conservative card. Well played, Brandon. So now it became a black issue. So wait. So you became a sanctuary city because you black, and they were trying to destroy you because of your color. And so the conservatives are against the liberals. Do we not remember that these people, and when I say these people, I'm talking about liberals, people that vote Democrat, were the ones that were for open borders, the ones that actually courted and had entire campaigns set up to support Biden, even here in Michigan specifically? Do we not remember this when Biden said that not another piece of border will be built on my watch, but now all of a sudden it became a race issue? How did it become a race? What do race even got to do with anything that we having a conversation about? Come on, y'all. Hercules. What are we doing? What are we talking about? How is race a part of this conversation? When did this become a race issue instead of an American issue? Because if it got anything to do with race, then it means that y'all advocated for open borders. We had a president that was before that said we need to build big walls and we need to allocate budgets that actually support our border patrol and have more border patrol agents, and then also change legislation that allows for us to be able to manage these people more effectively. But you were against it, and not only were you against it, Eric Adams was against it. The governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, was against it. Everybody was against it. As a matter of fact, I have a theory, and I've always had a theory, that the entire idea in the entire pandemic, how things was played out, was set up in order to try to limit the ability for people to think reasonably about the person that they wanted in office because they were under duress. Everything that happened, whether it was the protests over there in Wisconsin, when we seen all of that stuff, the Black Lives Matters, everybody on the court, when we seen how the different states was able to operate in order to prevent their constituents from being able to move a certain type of way, and then now they being rewarded as a result of it. Come on, man. Y'all want to have a conversation? Maybe I should just start a political channel. Y'all want to have a conversation because the whole thing was played out to where we knew exactly how people was going to vote based off of how the governors and the mayors were running the cities. And they were courting, and it was so unfortunate that it was happening during an election year that you also had a pandemic that then prevented people from actually being able to make a reasonable decision. And then on top of that, come on, man. Come on, bro. And you want to make it a black issue. So you are accepting and reallocating everybody that is coming into your city in which you've designated yourself as a sanctuary city. And the reason why Chicago, the state of Illinois, and the city of Chicago felt comfortable doing that is because they didn't know that the play from the southern governors was then going to be, okay, so y'all don't want to support us and we the ones that's on the front line having to allocate a majority of our budget over into managing this crisis, then we going to give them to you. We're going to give them to you. You want to play politics. Y'all want to continue to support this open border policy. Y'all don't want to get tough on immigration. Y'all don't want people to come in here legally but illegally. Your president said that they didn't want to build another piece of the border. Y'all, I'm on a live stream. What's happening?
I know. Can you mute me, please?
Hold on. Let me let them play. I'm going to play it a little bit more. They didn't know that the governors down there in Florida and Texas and stuff was going to start sending them the thing that they said, because they thought that they was protected because they was way up in the north. They thought that they was protected because they was over in the Midwest. They thought that they was protected because they was over there in the Northeast. And so as a result, they didn't have to deal with the border problems. And so they was in support of all of this bad stuff. But then when they started to have it on their doorstep, it became a black issue. It's not an actual American issue. It's a black issue all of a sudden. So now they're playing on your blackness and they're trying to play on your emotions in order to get you riled up to try to divert from the fact that they mismanaged how they was going to operate when it came to the sanctuary city. And it's no better example of that than Eric Adams when he said, listen, it ain't even our fault. It's the president's fault. He blamed it on the president. Next thing you know, Eric Adams got a bunch of cases up against him because Biden basically is playing Alonzo from Training Day. And he said, oh, you disloyal, be made. He told Eric Adams, he said, I'm going to have you playing basketball in Pelican Bay. And then Brandon Johnson got in line. Brandon Johnson looked at Eric Adams and he said, oh, nose. Let me get in line. Eyes like my city. Eyes like how we doing it over here in Illinois. Eyes like how we got things going over here. Biden turned into Alonzo and told Eric Adams he gonna have him playing basketball in Pelican Bay. And Brandon Johnson and them, instead of telling them what it really happened, they over here blaming it on the blackness of themselves. Now it's because you black. Well, what happened to Mayor Mike Johnston over in Denver? They're a sanctuary city and he whiter than white. Y'all know what Mayor Mike Johnston, his name sound black. Let me show you what Mike Johnston looks like. Mike, it's a generic name. It's a very generic name, but let me show you what Mayor Mike Johnston. This is the mayor over in Denver. So are you telling me that this is a black issue too? Is this a black issue too? It's free now. Woo, we don't like the way that Biden's is over there and the FBI is over there cheating them over in the New York's area. Mike Johnston is dealing with the same thing over there and being a sanctuary city in Denver, and Denver is absolutely falling apart. So why this ain't a black issue? Why this ain't a white or black issue? And now he want to bring Obama in it.
Same Republican right-wing extremism that stormed the Capitol. It's the same right-wing extremism that refuses to accept the results of the Civil War. It's raggedy. It's disrespectful. It's mean-spirited. It's an unclean spirit, quite frankly. And so I got you. I just want to make sure that people understand.
Now he want to play it off the spirituality. Black spirituality, liberal. Got it. Let's go.
What we're facing. That's why it's so important that the faith community is leaning in this moment. And so what I've said, there has to be better coordination. Look, Pastor Will Hall, who's also an alderman of the 6th Ward, visited the border. He saw the chaos firsthand. And so part of our effort to go to the border was to make sure that there was better coordination with the flow of migrants who are seeking asylum here. And this is not unprecedented. When the Ukrainian refugees found their way to the shores of America, there were 30,000 of them right here in the city of Chicago, and you don't hear a word about it because it was coordinated. There was federal dollars that were attached to those families. And so, to your question, yes, it has to be better coordinated. As far as limitations, we have to have parameters that respect the dignity of families who want to call Chicago their home. It is abysmal, and it's an affront for everything that is good about this country. For the extremism in this country to use people as political tools to settle political scores for something that happened 400 years ago. They're still mad that a black man is free in this country.
My God. Who is they? Whenever I hear a black person leverage the church and their blackness in order to continue to pass down excuse as to why they're not competent at their job, the thing that I always ask myself is, who is they? Who is they, and why are they so against you specifically? So they, the Wizard of Oz, is still mad that y'all free in this country. Jesus Christ. I can't believe y'all let this fly. Y'all was going to let me not address these issues, and y'all was going to let me skip over this press conference. I can't believe that y'all was going to let this fly.
This is nothing new, but aren't you glad that the soul of Chicago won't be broken? And those are the words of, I think, Beyonce. You won't break our soul.
Oh my God, this dude, this is insane. He hit us with the beyond. He hit us with the trifecta, and then he threw a Hadouken in there. He said, "I'm gonna use Beyonce's quote too." Is this y'all king? Is this y'all king? No. Don't say you didn't vote for him now. You didn't support him. Is this y'all king? Is this your king? Seriously. Come on, man. Stop it. Oh, man. This is crazy that y'all still getting finessed like this. And the people eating it up. Look at them. They, yeah.
Thank you, Pastor Zion.
So we're starting off.
Okay. All right. I've seen enough. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Not only did this man come up here and finesse y'all, but he came up here and he quadrupled down. And y'all can we all hold hands in a moment of prayer? Lord, we come to you on behalf of the citizens of Chicago. And you say where 2 or 3 are gathered in your name, that there you are in the midst of us. We have over 1,900, approaching over 2,000 people in this live stream right now. And we ask you to intercede on this city and make sure that you don't let these people continue to leverage the black community in order to finesse them into doing the thing that they shouldn't be doing in the first place, which is voting in these politicians out of ignorance and then not even showing up to the polls. The ones that do show up to the polls don't actually have any understanding as to how they're supposed to move. But we've been taught throughout our history, Lord, to continue to vote based off of our predecessors and our ancestors, in which they didn't even really understand the purpose of our ancestors, because black people were initially conservative. The way that we live our lives today, Lord, is conservative. We believe in the separation between church and state, smaller government, and also we want opportunities to succeed, and we don't want to continue to get handouts. We want to be able to fish. You said teach a man how to fish, don't give him a fish. You said that we were going to be fishers of men, not that we were going to play on each other in order to continue to leverage the city to do the thing that's in the best interest of the people. Lord, we need our borders closed. We need accountability from our politicians, and we need people to not continue to leverage black people in order to get their emotions all riled up in order to continue to do what they want to do. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm always open to more understanding, and the understanding that I may be wrong in this situation. But Lord, not my will, but thy will be done. In Jesus' name, amen. got 2 more segments to go. Y'all ready? Let me get some of these super chats out, and then we're going to continue over with the show. Time's Up says, I emailed you what made you stop eating meat, because I want to continue to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? I want to live forever. That junk ain't good for you. You need to tap into the Patreon and watch the video that I just did, an interview with somebody that I just dropped. Yes. Enforcer 2K9 says, hot take, in-season tournament finals, Kings versus Pacers, Fox versus Halliburton showdown. And that would be a incredible one. If I catch the flight over there tomorrow, I'll keep y'all informed. We're not missing those shows, though. Blaze Skywalker says, putting syrup on S and calling it pancakes. Facts. I agree with you. Kung Fu Hustler says, anchor babies galore. Appreciate you. Micah James says, good morning, Anton. I sent all my email to you, email on December 1st, and today from Micah Eagle 215. Thank you again, and happy holidays to all of the bag chasers. Absolutely, I got you. Next Level MF says, shoe program, 23-hour lockdown. Because King Kong ain't got nothing on him. Even Umar Johnson ain't got nothing on him. AL says, I told you if they get out of line, all of a sudden scandal will be upon them. Now they got them allegations and AI picks with Dwight Howard. Diddy and Short. Shout out to AL in the building. Cool Nerd. Empire Foundation says, I come to you as your humble servant. And as a servant to lead the people in the oppression of the Republicans, Brandon Johnson. And he is playing the people like a fiddle. And then brought the pastor up right after that. Gosh. Let's continue over with the show. Let's get to the money, y'all. Let's get to the money. So the word on the street is that everybody is out here living paycheck to paycheck. I know y'all not going to let this Christmas season throw y'all into debt. I know y'all not going to let this Christmas season throw y'all into debt. I know y'all not. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let me go ahead and bring y'all up to speed of what's happening out here in these streets.
Americans spent billions of dollars on Thanksgiving weekend sales, and a record amount of people used the buy now, pay later option. That means they can spread out payments, an interest fee, or low interest installments. Adobe Analytics looked into this. They said those purchases soared 43% compared to last year. And research shows that the buy now, pay later plans are disproportionately used by people who have low credit scores or debt, and the option may actually get them deeper in a hole.
It's very easy once you start doing buy now, pay later on one purchase to do it on another, and then on another, and then on another. And we found that the more loans that people had taken out, the more likely they were going to have problems making payments or making payments on time.
What are y'all buying is what I'm curious of. What are y'all buying? Now, if you got it, then spend it. I ain't trying to count nobody's pockets, but at the same time, I don't want you to complain about it. If you got it, then go get it. I'm all for it. Have a good time. Go get the cars. Go get the cribs. Go spend time. You know what I'm saying? Go get your Burberry scarves and the good coats and all of that stuff. If you got it, then go get it. But having it means that all of your bills is paid, that you have zero debt, business is thriving, 401k is funded. No. Let's go through it. Let's go through the steps really quickly, because this is a very important conversation that a lot of people, is because it's not gossip, because it's not Columbus Short, because they ain't talking about Diddy, because we're not talking about Brandon Johnson or whatever. You want to skip over this part. No, this is the most important part of the show. Okay? This is the most important part of the show. Thank you for those super chats. I'm going to be reading those shortly. Oh, and congratulations. I'm definitely going to be reading that shortly. There's steps involved to this, but if you got it, that means that you fully funded and you on your way to fund your 401k 100%. If your 401k is not fully funded, and I teach a specific strategy inside of the Patreon, one of those strategies is that you want to make sure that you spread it out. And then by the end of your final paycheck, because you want to make sure that you get all of the free money, especially if you're looking to max out on your 401k, because you don't want to max out too early. That means your 401k, your chick's 401k, everybody's 401k, your Roth IRA, all of that type of stuff. Everything is fully funded. All of the debt is taken care of and everything. Because if you out here buying gifts and you won't even go to church, because the most of y'all don't go to church, but somehow, some way you still celebrate Christmas, you're just looking for an excuse to buy things you don't want or things that you don't need in order to impress people that you don't even like. You look into it. You buying things that you don't need in order to impress people that don't even like you. That's a fact, though. It's a fact, because this is saying buy now, pay later is 48% higher than it was in yesteryear. 48% than last year. The only thing growing in this economy is the ability for people to continue to leverage debt in order to run it up. I'll give you an example. This just came out right before that.
First-time jobless claims rose again last week. That's according to new data from the Labor Department. Initial claims reached 218,000 for the week ending November 25th. That's up 7,000 from the previous week.
Up 7,000. People are laid to F off, but they still spending an egregious... Listen, jobless claims are unemployment checks for the people that don't know, for the people that ain't never been in this little pickle before. I know what a pickle feel like a couple days out of the year. You know what I'm saying? Back in my day, 2008 recession, it was bad out here in these streets. Jobless claims up 7,000, more than it was from the previous week, means that people ain't getting no money and they out here getting unemployment checks, okay?
The number of people in the U.S. collecting unemployment is now at its highest level in 2 years.
A new bank rate survey finds about 2 in 3 employed Americans received a pay raise since October of last year. However, 60% of workers say their income has not been enough to keep up with inflation. More than half of those who got a pay bump said their pay lost ground to inflation.
So you making less money when you start to account for inflation. You got a raise, but it didn't actually beat the rate of inflation. So your lifestyle is actually worse off than it was in previous years because you don't have another piece of income or multiple streams of income in order to subsidize your standard of living, and you become interdependent on your paycheck in order to survive, right? So most people, more than half, overwhelmingly, 60% of people are saying, almost 2/3 of people are saying that their income is not enough to be able to keep up with inflation, and we out here suffering. Yet debt has exploded and skyrocketing, and the ones that are most likely to use credit, that's what it just said on the previous video. The ones that are the most likely to use credit are the ones that can't afford to use credit. So if you're trying to tell me that credit is so awesome, because it can be, and I'm going to break that down in the next segment of the show, it can be something that's absolutely awesome. If you're trying to convince me that credit is so awesome, then how come the people that's not supposed to use it, and then you hold me accountable and you say, well, Anton, how come you don't teach people about credit? I need to teach people about finances and understanding how money works before we can start teaching you how it is that you're supposed to be trying to get your credit together. Your credit don't mean nothing if you don't understand how to use money. If you're voluntarily ignorant, meaning that you don't have to be, we have more information and more access to it than we ever have before, but you continue to find yourself in this space, then that means that we have an issue. We have an issue, and the issue is not just whether or not you got a good credit score. The issue is whether or not you should be leveraging this the way that you're leveraging it in order to continue to run up the bag.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with us now. Jill, it's good to have you in Studio 57.
Yeah, well,
because I always see you in 1515.
But, you have not been here when I've been here.
Really?
I've missed you. I walked onto the set. I said the dream team is here.
You did say that. All right, so let's dig into this. So according to Bankrate, the numbers suggest that workers say that their income is not able to keep up with the rate of inflation. There are some things that are cheap, but then there are other things that are kind of expensive.
Well, I think that we have to remember that each person's situation is so different, and I think that we conflate a lot of things. So let me give you an example of this. I can tell you right now that wage growth is outpacing inflation through the last month of data. Sounds great, but it has nothing to do with any person sitting at home who says, wait a second, Jill. Yeah, I did get a wage increase over the last year, but for the 2 years before that, when inflation was bubbling up, I couldn't keep up. I had to spend down my savings. I did go into more debt. That debt costs me more money now, and now I feel crunched. So
And she's wrong, because nobody genuinely asked the question. I'm going to explain it to you in this next video. Nobody genuinely asked the question, what is your lifestyle? Because 99% of the things that you see happening within our society is a self-inflicted wound. Meaning, you decide to have 5 kids out of wedlock. You decide to put yourself in a position where you knew family court wasn't against you. So now you got to pay all of this child support. You're starting to become interdependent on your wages in order to survive and then continue to thrive within your lifestyle. You then went out and you said, okay, well, I need to finance me a car because I need something reliable. That's the excuse that they give themselves. Something that's reliable and not going to break down. So I want to finance something. You financed it for 96 months at a 23% interest rate. You got credit card debt out the wazoo. You then threw your student loans in forbearance and you stopped paying them. And then Biden set them back into place. And that started back in September. And now you want to complain about credit score and that you ain't making enough money. Now you buying shirts that say eat the rich and you protesting on the UAW line because you saying that we don't have enough to be able to survive, when in reality, the majority of what it is that you do was a self-inflicted wound because you felt like you needed to have this thing because that what was normalized to you. That's the truth. It's not that inflation is killing you. It's that you killing yourself and then blaming it on inflation. That's the truth. Let me give you an example.
You know, if millennials would just stop eating avocado toast and buying $5 lattes, we would still be broke because the American dollar has inflated 62% in the last.
See? It doesn't matter what I tell you from a literate perspective as far as financial literacy, whether I break it down from a 3-year view, 5-year view, 10-year view. I can break it down from a C student's perspective, the whole 9 yards. When you give people information, I can tell you the entire game, right? I got a video that I'm dropping this week inside of the Patreon where I'm breaking down the sales process, how to be more successful when it comes to sales. And that sales is in everything that you do, and the literal steps, step by step, C student's perspective of how you're supposed to be looking at sales. I can give you the game, but I'm not going to be able to make you drink, because most people, when you tell them what it is that they're supposed to do, they make an excuse as to why they won't do it and why it's not going to matter. Well, Anton, why do I care who's in office? Because black people's vote don't matter anyway. Okay, well, here's Brandon Johnson in Chicago. Here's a big migrant crisis to lay right down at your feet. Then you're going to be sitting there complaining when I don't want to hear any complaints for you because you didn't actually participate in the process. Well, Anton, how am I supposed to be successful? I want to get rich. Oh, okay. Well, here's are the steps. And then while you're doing it, you're going to have to do it for the next 5 to 10 years and stay down and reinvest in yourself. And the biggest investment that you got to make is into yourself so that you can get a bigger shovel, so that you can start plowing your money into assets, stop buying cars, live poor, act poor. You're supposed to be poor anyway when you're in your early 20s going into your 30s, because you don't really even start to figure out that you want to be successful and get your life together until you're 30, 35 anyway as a man. And so this is what you want to do. Try to prevent yourself from taking student loans. But Anton, I want to go. Everybody going out to the university, and they going to Hampton, they going to the HBCUs, and they partying, and they going out there. And they want to have a conversation. They going to Jackson State, and Anton, everybody doing it. Everybody take loans. This is normal. You out of touch. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't get it, because this is what we got to do now in order to be successful. No. And then Anton jump back in. No. Don't get no student loans. Stay home. Don't go out of state. Out of state costs much more than in-state college tuition. As a matter of fact, just go to community college, and then you can switch over and then start working while you're in community college in order to make sure that they then pay for your education. So when you switch over to a major university, you're not going to, have no cost. This is how other cultures do it. This is no, Anton, that ain't normal. Black people don't do that. We go over here. We go to Mocha Fest. We going to Houston. We going to party. Then I say, okay. Then I go pick up a new Rolex, and then they want to hold me accountable for having a new Rolex. You said don't buy stuff. No, I said that I stayed down for like 10 years before I started spending money so that I could actually do what I want to do when I want to do it. Oh, no. That was a bar. You missed it. I just dissed you. My bad. My dog Averb was just here, and so I'm into the whole battle rap thing. No, I really did just buy a new Rolex this morning. No. Not use. No diamonds, no. See, the reason why I got this one on is because I'm fully expecting for it to be delivered. Oh, you don't believe me. You don't believe me. You thought I was just talking. You thought that it was a thing. You know, Anton liked to bring up the receipts.
Hello.
Hey, where you at?
I'm at the mall
What you at the mall doing?
shopping.
Shopping for what?
Lester's Christmas.
Did you pick me up something?
Oh yeah, I didn't know if you wanted me to say that or not. I don't be knowing about it. Yes.
What you pick me up today?
Another watch.
What color is it?
Rose gold.
Rose gold what?
It's a rose gold Rolex.
Ooh, 40 millimeter?
Yes.
Presidential?
Yes.
She still got my Sky Dweller on order too? The rose gold one of that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll do an unboxing for the people tomorrow.
I'm getting this one size to my arm, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I'm talking junk. I'm not.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Bye.
Bye. Anton spending my whole year's salary on a watch. I can do that. I can do that. But remember, before I started spending your yearly salary on a watch, I also contributed over to my bag chasers to make sure that I funded their business. I paid my tithes. I got to pay my tithes and offerings. My tithes and offerings go to the people. When I allocate monies in order to give it to the bag chasers, link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. When I pay my tithes over to the chasers and I say, well, wait, before we go out and we start shopping for us, we got to make sure that we send that Zelle and fund as many people, businesses as possible that's within our tribe to make sure that they can make the decisions that we made earlier in our life in order for them to be able to live the same lifestyle as us. We want our people to be successful. Before I spent it on everybody, on myself, I made sure that I sent it out to my people. I pay for people's funerals. We do all of that. But the ability to be able to do that is based off of what? Being very, very intentional with how it is that you spend your money and your resources to not do the thing. You get it, glue guy. You get it, glue guy. To not do the thing that's not in your best interest by making better financial decisions. But they gonna complain about it. Let's continue.
It's 20 years. And if we want to retire by the age of 65, we have to save $3 million, which means if you're anywhere near 30 years old, you better start banking 10 grand a month if you want to reach that goal. Otherwise, you're going to be working for the rest of your life. Eat that avocado toast and drink that latte because we're fucked either way.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. Inflation's killing me too. But can we talk about shrinkflation? Yeah, things are actually shrinking. Like these sprinkles.
I'm not kidding when I say I just popped this puppy open. Like, who ate the Pringles?
Yo. Let me guess. Baby girl right here. Baby girl right here is going to be talking about the cost of food. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. I'm fully expecting this woman right here to talk about the cost of food.
What the fuck are we even doing? Just got back from the grocery store where I spent $67 on 2.
I promise you I have not seen this video prior to reviewing it. I promise you that I not see this set of TikTok videos prior to reviewing it.
Bags of things that will maybe last us, I don't know, not out here buying steak and all the accoutrements. No, such bare basic needs. But I don't think I even bought dessert. No, I lie, I bought Whoppers. But what are we doing?
I'm not going no further. I'm not going no further. You can't make this stuff up. Seriously. You cannot make this stuff up. Right after she didn't say a Whopper, she bought Whoppers with an S. With an S. She bought Whoppers while she's sitting here complaining about food. I'm going to review the rest of this tomorrow. I'll review them. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all tuning in tomorrow. It's going to be a great show. Let me read some of these super chats, and then I'm going to move over into the final thing that I want to talk about that leapfrogs off of this. Jules says, you can hear the defiance in his voice. I really don't feel sorry for his constituents after they voted for him right after Lori Lightfoot. And I don't know who buy Whoppers for dessert, but I'm very confused. Alvin says, blessings AD and the Daniels family. Today is my first Millionaire Morning show as a married man. Miss Lady K and I tied the knot on 12/2/2023. Our first date was June 2020. Check this out, y'all. I want y'all to really pay attention to what we do over here at the show and what our Chasers is doing. His first date was at the July 22nd New York City Patreon members meetup, Bag Chasers for Life. His first date. I bring people together, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't know that they was going to be being married a year and some change from now. They didn't know that they was going to be married a year and some change from now. I bring people together. If you've never been to a meetup, it is one of the most awesome events that you will have in the entire year. It is one of the most awesome events that you will have with a phenomenal group of people that is around you for the entire year. Can we get another round of applause for the Chasers? Can we get another round of applause for the Chasers? Congratulations, all the well-wishings. I wish you guys bliss. Hopefully you guys continue to take the lessons that I've been giving you guys. You have an awesome wife, super submissive, phenomenal. You are a phenomenal guy, and I'm looking forward to continuing to have conversations and building a great friendship with you guys because you are going in the direction that I'm going in. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. You know where it's at. It's in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. JC says, higher up, got dossier on black mayors. Dossier on black mayors. Tech Coach Ralph is in the building, says the lowest interest rate is no interest rate. They don't hear you, though. While we continue to acquire assets. Courtney Smith says, every time I hear Brandon Johnson speak, it makes me feel better at the fact that I voted for Paul Vallis instead. To no avail. To no avail. Yes, I do bring couples together, Jeff Race. I do. Time's Up says, Jeremiah 10 says, not to celebrate it. Carry on. Carry on. AL says, I'm going into a minimalist lifestyle. Discipline. Well, I'm going to just continue to acquire the things that I like that appreciate with value over time. See, I can enjoy my assets and they continue to appreciate. So that's the thing I like. I don't buy anything that depreciates. I don't do bust downs. I don't do anything like that. But I do like my watches. I got the Apple Watch on today, but you might see something a little bit different tomorrow. All right, let's continue. Last thing that I want to share with you guys is that the United States has over $1 trillion. Broke that mark earlier this year. I think it's at like 1.4 trillion now or 1.3 trillion now. Yeah, we going at a record pace. So the United States, hold on one second. Hold on. I got you, boo. Boom. United States is at $1 trillion in credit card debt, but this video supposedly describes how we got there. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification.
The U.S. economy has been on recession watch for months now, and so far, the all-important American consumer has been holding strong, keeping those recession forecasts from becoming true.
Consumer is still spending.
Consumer is in better shape. If they have money, they're going to spend it.
Consumers continuing to be resilient.
The consumer health has been resilient so far this year.
Consumer resilience.
Don't it sound like they all reading from the same script in order to sell you a lifestyle that you don't even really need? That's what it sounds like to me.
Is about to be tested. Americans now carry more than $1 trillion in credit card debt going into the holiday shopping season. The Federal Reserve's rate hikes have caused average interest rates for credit cards to spike to more than 22%. Rates on retail credit cards are even higher, nearing 29% on average. Despite this, the holiday season shows no signs of a slowdown, as each shopper is prepared to spend almost $900 on average this year, according to an NRF survey.
The U.S. consumers walking towards a cliff, basically.
The state of the consumer will be in focus in the post-holiday season, as economists will want to know, can American consumers handle racking up a record amount of credit card debt, and if it will lead into more delinquencies.
The answer, y'all want to know the short answer? Yes. Yes. The repo man is out here killing it right now. The repo companies is making a killing. Landlords is making a killing. Evictions, whoever is a part of that process is making a killing. Family court law is making a killing. Attorneys is making money. Everybody is making money off of you except for you. Ain't that crazy? Everybody in the world, politicians, road crews, construction, everybody in the world is making money. Credit card companies, the banks is just absolutely positively trying to hold on to their cash cows as much as they possibly can. And they going to sell you everything that they can. And they even going to throw in a couple little trinkets in there as a result of it and say no interest for the next 6 months. Oh, don't worry about it. You can just transfer your credit card balance over to that card and then you can just do it, keep doing it again.
This is the first time credit card debt has topped $1 trillion in America. That amount includes both revolving balances and balances paid off at the end of the billing cycle.
Consumers are increasingly reliant on credit cards to finance purchases of everyday goods and services, and that's because they're just getting a lot more expensive. At the same
And do y'all see how easy it is now? You don't even got to pull out your card. You ain't got to have it with you. You could just boop, just go ahead and hit it.
time, their wages are not increasing at the same pace as inflation. And that makes it more difficult because as the credit card balance increases, it can be more challenging for consumers to pay down that debt.
The excess savings that Americans lined their pockets with during the COVID-19 pandemic is largely now spent. High inflation and interest rates have made everything more expensive. Normal costs like groceries, gas, and housing are all rising. Add in the resumption of student loan repayments, and it's creating the perfect rising debt storm.
Americans are skipping out on some of their credit card payments because household budgets are squeezed due to higher borrowing costs.
Another factor for the rising debt is the increase of credit card users. More than 70 million new accounts have been opened since 2019.
Shout out to everybody that tried to finesse Navy Federal. Remember when y'all used to see all of those videos? I'm going to read that super chat shortly. And everybody was talking about, yeah. You need to go and open a Navy Federal account. And they'll give you this kind of limit and that kind of limit. And when I used to hear that, I used to say to myself, because I don't have a Navy Federal account. I have no need for a Navy Federal account. I don't really see the value in having a Navy Federal account. It serves me in no way, shape, or form. And everybody was walking around like, yeah, man, you need to go and get a Navy Federal account. And I was seeing all of these videos, open up a Navy Federal. But nobody was having a conversation and saying, well, what do you actually need a Navy Federal account for? Fast forward, I see a bunch of people basically saying that they falling out of line, and Navy Federal is starting to make the adjustment to make sure that they lower people's limits. They prevent people from opening up new accounts. Why? Because there was no reason for them to actually open it up in the first place. What was the purpose for you opening up a Navy Federal account? That's the question. The question should never be, is it accessible to you? Because the thing that I even see within the culture a lot of times is we should have access. We should have access. We should be able to get more loans and we should be able to do this. My question always becomes, okay, for what reason? Why do you want to do this? And how is it then going to help you become greater at being a person that is prepared for retirement, for success, for making sure that your kids don't have to take out student loans to go to college? So you just became more of a consumer for what reason? Raise my credit score. Okay, to do what? For what? If you just wanted to raise your credit score, then all you had to do was get a secured credit card and keep your utilization low and then hold on to the card for a long time. You don't need
That year, 65% of Americans owned a credit card. And after a contraction in issuance due to the pandemic, the amount of Americans owning a credit card rose to 69% in 2023.
Credit cards can be like power tools. They could be really useful or they could be dangerous. It's all about how you use them.
Typically, after the holiday season, credit card debt levels drop as consumers pay down their shopping balances. But at the start of 2023, it remained unchanged, and now shoppers are prepared to spend even more than 2022.
Holiday shoppers do plan to spend more, according to a survey and the forecast done by the National Retail Federation. They found that people plan to spend about $40 more than they did last year, and that could be in part because of higher prices in some categories. There is still this deal-seeking mentality for items, and so that may mean that people are going to look for whatever is on sale, along with seeking newness.
Americans planning to flood the mall with their retail credit cards may be shocked when the bill comes, because those cards are carrying a higher interest rate than years prior. In fact, some are starting to rise to rates that only subprime borrowers see, rates exceeding 33%.
Guess why I don't really care about rates? And you guys have seen me show my credit score and all of that stuff 1,000 times. I'm not going to do it again. I show too many receipts anyway. I shouldn't even be keep saying and doing all of these unboxings, because all it's doing is going to make people jealous. And then they're going to want to come after me because Anton be showing too much money and he be bragging and I don't like his arrogance. Okay. We're not going to make it about me. But I've never actually cared about an interest rate. You know why? Because I don't pay credit card interest. I was literally just having a conversation with Rita the other day, and I said, I have no idea why Chase, Sapphire, or American Express Platinum, or any of that type of stuff continue to court us. Why do they want to court us? Why do they want to keep saying, hey, you know, more, have a good time, Anton, do this. I don't understand why they want to. For people like me, they should be able to vet us out and say, no, we don't really want to rock with them. She said, why you say, she started laughing. She said, why you say that? She said, I think I know what you're going to say. Why you say that? I said, because when we went over to Tokyo, the hotel room was free. I had a, $12,000 to $15,000, it was like $12,000, $13,000 hotel room. I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, and it was free. So it was paid for by them. And I didn't give them no money in interest. And all of the stuff that I was using it for, I was already using it for. And see, I don't like to have that conversation, because then other people will try to take that strategy and then they'll overspend on things that they wasn't going to buy anyway, right? And then they'll justify it. And even if they do pay off the balance in time, they still overspent on things that they didn't need in the first place. So, but I was already going, I have to travel. I have to get the hotel room. I have to get my flight tickets. I got to buy certain materials for some of the properties that I'm building. I got to do this. I got to do that. I've already allocated monies in order to do it from a business perspective. And so as a result, it was already coming out and I already had the resources for it. I didn't have to finance it. And so I didn't care about the interest rate. I don't even look at the interest rate when they sent me the card in the first place. I need the card in order to reserve a car when we go to a different city so that I'll have a rental vehicle in order to get where I need to go. I can't reserve a rental vehicle without having a credit card. I can't reserve a hotel room without having a credit card. And so I need it in order to hold certain things, in order to ensure that I can move. And then as a result of it, when I pay it off, we go stay at the Ritz-Carlton, right? I just bought the top of the line new Apple monitor, the 27-inch monitor, because I was waiting. I had to wait till the end of the year. And I bought the new Mac Studio, and that cost me that was supposed to be another $4,000. So the Mac monitor was $2,400, $2,300 in taxes. And then this Mac Studio was $4,000. So that's $6,500, like almost $6,500, right? And I didn't pay for either one of them, because I literally used my reward cards balance to buy it. Because at the end of November, up to November 30th, Apple had up to 50% more bonus points that you can leverage your Chase Sapphire rewards points for in order to get more points. And so I seen that. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Let me check our points. Because I was saving points for another trip that I was going to use in order to get flight tickets. And then I was going to head to Italy next year or something like that. I looked at, I ain't got to spend $6,500. I could just go over here and leverage the Chase points and rebuild a whole new studio and upgrade my equipment, right? But that's not how people think. They don't think, okay, well, I don't need this, or, okay, well, I'm going to leverage this because I'm already out of debt. I don't have no student loan debt. I don't do anything. I'm already having the money over for this. They don't think like that. They first think like that in order to justify themselves getting the card. And then they start moving differently because they say, well, it's crunch time, or I need to use this for an emergency, or I'm going to justify this to buy something that I don't really need, or I got the money anyway, I'm going to just pay it off at the end of the month. And so a lot of times they find themselves under duress and they don't know how they got there, but it's a mindset that comes with having a discipline in order to be able to have that type of responsibility. So before you can start to have conversations based off of credit card debt, you got to ask yourself the question, why are we carrying over debt, the type of debt that we wasn't supposed to be carrying over, to the tune of over $1 trillion? It makes no sense.
Retailers have already noticed is that credit card delinquencies have ticked up. And that may mean that people are struggling to make payments and could again be a warning sign.
Big box retailers like Macy's and Nordstrom already flagged the slowdown of repayments on their credit cards over the summer, showcasing a potential risk to retail revenue this season. The average consumer has around a $6,000 credit card balance, $400 to $600 monthly student loan payment, high rent, and car loan payments.
And credit cards got the highest interest rates, short of a payday loan. Credit cards got the highest interest rates that you can find.
Americans may wonder if it's even possible to keep their heads afloat.
The best tip for credit card debt payoff actually is to get a 0% balance transfer card.
See?
So you move your existing.
Now they selling you on why it's okay to still hold on to the balance instead of eliminate. They don't give you the steps in order to get you clear. They don't give you the steps in order to prevent yourself from being in that situation in the first. They don't want to cure you. They just want to be able to give you the medicine to carry you forward to stay on that titty. They want you still on that nipple. They still want you on that breast milk. They don't want you to mature. They don't want you to grow. They just want to give you the thing that's going to keep you in the hospital seeking out getting the medicine. They're not trying to cure you because there ain't no money in the cure. The money ain't in the cure. The money is in the treatment. They just want to treat the problem. They're not trying to cure you. When you see people advocate for leveraging it, they're not looking at it from a business perspective. They're not teaching you that because they know you don't even have the fundamentals and the financial literacy in order to get there in the first place. And so they give you the treatment instead of making you actually get the cure, because once you get the cure, it unlocks a completely different mindset when it comes to how you're supposed to look at money and finances, right?
High cost debt to this new card with a 0% promotional rate.
Credit card balances saw the largest increase of all debt types this year, $45 billion. And compared to other debt types, credit cards typically hold the highest interest rates.
Any extra money should probably go to the credit card just because that's likely to be your highest cost debt by a wide margin.
If one more person hit me up and they say, Anton, should I pay off my debt first? Should I pay off my credit cards first? Or should I invest? Let me just go ahead and save you some money on a coaching call, and I'm going to give you that information right now. Pay off the credit cards. Throw every dime, get a second job, do DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, go gig working, do whatever it is that you got to do, put your pride down and pay that junk off and never go back. A bad credit card debt and student loans is like a bad relationship that you just got out of. Often at times when you get further away from it, you start to look at it from a nostalgic perspective and you start to think that things were better than they really were. In reality, when you get back into it, you're going to realize it's a reason why you left that relationship in the first place. Credit cards, student loans, debt in general are like bad relationships that you left. You got a bunch of stuff out of it. You forgot the duress that you was under when you was in it. And so when you look back on it, it seems like it's better than it really was because time heals all wounds, but you never forget the euphoric moments, right? We have revisionist history. There's a lot of people that look at high school or they look at the times when they was younger and they say, oh man, it was so great and we was playing outside. No, you was getting your butt kicked and you was actually getting beat up on a playground and you forgot that part because the only thing you remembered is when you came in and your teacher was nursing your wound and she gave you some cookies. So you remembered the cookies and you forgot the beat down. Stop going back to your abusers. You know how we always ask, man, we don't know why she won't leave him. That's credit card debt. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's debt. You pay off the car loan and you go a couple months without no car note and you're like, man, this is good. Next thing you know, you start searching the website and you looking at different cars and you on car channels like, ooh, that's dope. I can afford it. You go right back into the thing that you was trying to get out of it in the first place. All because you got a new car smell. That new car smell is going to wear off in a month. And you're going to be right back in the same situation that you was before. upside down in a car that's worth less when you drove it off the lot and you shouldn't have been in it in the first place. Your car was just fine. And I'm not telling y'all that y'all can't enjoy yourselves and that y'all can't have a great time in your lives. But what I am telling you is that make sure that you prioritize doing the right thing first so that you can then do what you want to do instead of what you have to do. Because I don't want you going to work because you have to. I want you pushing it and working all of those hours because you're pouring it into things that actually add value into your life long term. All right? Let me read some of the super chats and I'm going to get y'all up out of here. I went a little longer than I want to today, than I was supposed to, but it's okay. Jay Ben says, hoping she was talking about candy and not Burger. You know she was talking about them Whoppers. I don't even know nobody that still be going to Burger King like that. Scooby Don says, AD is 457 deferred comp worth investing in. Listen. The best investments that you guys can make is in yourself. Stop looking for the life hack. Do the research. If you want to invest in something and invest in an S&P 500, invest in an ETF. If you have the resources to do so, reinvest it back into yourself, educating yourself so that you can make more money to then pour into resources. And I personally, I believe in making sure that I invest in real estate. Every dime that I have at this point is just going into real estate, unless I buy a toy. But everything is going into real estate. So, Bernie's book tour says, Roll Book Tour says, I have secured a credit card. I haven't heard your thoughts on it, but does it help? I'm seeing improvement in my FICO slowly, or does it even matter? 3 things that help your credit score if you decide that you want to go into the credit game, right? Length of time, on-time payments, credit utilization rate, which is lowering the amount that's used and reported on the credit card every single month by paying off the entirety of the balance before you even get before they even say that, hey, you know, this is your balance, and they actually report it on your statement, all right, before your statement date. And please says the illegal migrants will soon be allowed to vote in local elections. Future handout voters, Democrats will forever be in office. Yeah, my dog Kwame talk about that all the time. Shout out to you for holding me down, and you said it the same. You hit me back to back. Thank you, my friend. D Legend is in the building. Says, good afternoon, Mr. Anton. Can you educate me? Why is it better to be debt-free versus using debt to get loans to buy assets that pay off the debt? I'm still learning in my baby steps. Well, different people, and I'm assuming that you want to use real estate as a strategy, right? For an example, right? I'll give you an example. I don't like middlemen. Let's do it like that. I think that that's the best way and the best analogy for me to use it. When you using other people's money for the very basic consumer. Now, there's levels. If you want to talk about a billionaire, they get different rates, and one of the reasons why they take out the loans is because they don't have to pay the taxes on the loans versus paying the taxes on the income. So let's just say, for example, I'm the CEO of a company that I created, and I'm a billionaire, right? Well, I usually get my compensation in equity. I don't have to pay the taxes in it until I sell. And so we seen this happen with Elon Musk a couple years ago before he bought Twitter, right? He had to pay an egregious amount of money in taxes, when in reality, you don't want to have to give money over to the federal government or to anybody, including the borrower, but it's cheaper for them to actually borrow against their assets because A, they don't have to pay the taxes, and then B, they get favorable loans at a much, much, much lower interest rate because it's guaranteed against their equity or whatever it is that they put up as assets in order to get it. So they're leveraging not have to pay additional taxes in order to continue to make more money by buying assets. But it's not that they don't have the money, is that they're leveraging the system in order to make more money in order to prevent themselves from having to pay more taxes to the federal government. Now, for people like you and me, it's much different, right? Because now we got to go through a middleman. Because you may not have the entirety of the monies in order to buy the things that you want. So let's say you go over there and buy a house, right? Well, okay. They say, well, a house is a great asset. It is, as it's continuing to appreciate. But most people don't actually understand the true cost of home ownership. They don't take into consideration the costs, the cost of selling it, property taxes, maintenance, repairs, HOA fees. By the time that you get done paying the interest on a property, especially at today's rates, you'll wind up paying it 3 times over. The cost of what you pay for that house, you're going to be paying $1 million on a $300,000 house by the time you pay it off on a 30-year mortgage. Oh, okay, well, in Anton, why don't I just put a renter in there in order to have them pay off the mortgage? Okay, well, we can have that conversation too. I'll say, I'm going to put a renter in the property, you put a renter in your property, You gonna use that money in order to continue to pay off the interest or pay off the mortgage on the property, but the majority of the profits is still gonna go over to the interest to the bank. Well, you don't care because the person is still paying off the property, and so it's not coming out of your pocket. I say it is coming out of your pocket because my renters are gonna pay it straight to me. So all of the money goes into my pocket in order for me to reinvest and buy more assets. Your money is going over to the bank. My money is coming to me. And so you can use a different strategy. And I'm not saying that the growth strategy and pulling equity out of the property in order to continue to buy more properties and stuff like that doesn't work. But there's inherent risks that come along with that. I have no risks. I have no problems. I have no worries. I'm not worried about the pandemic happening and then the rent moratorium and then people not being able to pay their rent. And then I got to have the carrying costs and I got to send that money over into the bank. I'm not worried about any of that type of stuff, right? And so I'm very, very aware of how it is that you can leverage other people's money, but those come in unique situations. Those don't always come when it comes to the regular everyday consumer like me and you. We have to get rid of the debt, right? There's no guarantee that you're going to be successful, but it is a guarantee you're going to still have to pay that debt back, regardless of whether they pay the rent or not. You still got to make that mortgage payment, and the majority of that mortgage payment and interest rates is still going over to the bank, and it's not going to you. And so now you become dependent on them to pay the rent, and you hoping that the property appreciate. You got to hold it on for a certain amount of time in order for, you continue to make money off the property because we base it off of net worth and all of this other type of stuff, right? So it's a lot that goes into it. But essentially, debt is the enemy of wealth, and the more that I have going into my pocket, the less I have going over into the bank. That's the general idea of it. So those are the baby steps. The idea of it is to put it in your pocket, not the bank's pocket. All right. In a general sense. Coach King Rod says, what up, Time Dog? Giving something to the congregation. Also, are you doing another Patreon Shark Tank in the future? Yep. I do it every single year for the bag chasers. And hopefully next year I can double it and then allocate more monies in order to invest in you guys' business. Again, for those of you that did not send me a response email, that basically highlights where I'm supposed to send your monies, the Zelle, you need to do so. Because now you're giving me the impression that you're not taking it serious as to what it is that you pitched. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that held me down. I also want to acknowledge a couple more people really quickly. Ali Collins out here in these Cash App streets. Thank you, my friend. And also Anthony. Thank you, Anthony, for holding me down. I appreciate you also, my friend. Actually, let me get this to Ali Collins. Thank you, Ali Collins. I appreciate you. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully you guys continue to do the thing that's in your best interest. We're going to have a great rest of the year and, more importantly, a great week. And hopefully I can continue to entertain you, help you get through your day, and add value into your life. We got the Q show tonight, Monday night Q show. It's going to be lit. I'm going to be there. We're going to have a great time, and it's going to be an absolutely awesome space, all right? I love you. I appreciate you. I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with me. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.